What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family, bringing you guys the latest update on the Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott, all the injuries, everything, game day breakdown, guys, and more.
Yeah,
and
guys.
Speaking of more, we just saw.
We're watching the Monday Night Football game, guys. A big NFC East battle. Eagles, Redskins at actually Washington at Philadelphia. Number 71, Jason Peters, the blindside tackle for the Eagles.
Nasty injury to his right leg. Looks like his knee went completely sideways, guys. I don't know if you guys are out there watching, but wishing him a speedy recovery, wishing him the best. You never want to see players get hurt like that. And, you know, injuries like this, guys, they can change the season for any team. So, you know, that'd be the equivalent of us missing Tyron Smith, right?
Yeah. I mean it's this, he's the blindside. He's the blindside tackle for the Eagles, for Carson Wentz. He's their best lineman, Jason Peters. And he's a 9-time Pro Bowler, guys.
All right.
I think he's gone for the season. I think he's gone for the season.
Yeah, so
based on that,
Wilson,
what we saw.
Thanks for joining us.
What's up?
How are you doing tonight?
Who's that?
Wilson.
Oh, I didn't see.
Giants for life.
Oh, is that Wilson?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wilson. I know you must get so tired of that joke. I know. So we're gonna go ahead and give it another minute or two before we really hop into.
If you guys are in here, jump in, say hi. What's up? We're gonna start breaking down everything. Yeah, we've been talking about the whole day with the Cowboys, with the game yesterday, our fantastic win, guys. Thank goodness we had a win. Don't get too overhyped about it. Yep. It's a win we should have had, but we did what we were supposed to do, and that's what we're happy about.
Ice H2O, thanks for joining us.
How you doing? So we're watching right now. We're going to watch the rest of the second half of this game. It's 17-10 right now, I think.
Yep, Eagles are. Eagles are up 17-10, guys.
Eagles over the Redskins. We're going for Redskins tonight, guys. It's going to help the Cowboys in the long run if we can get them to if we can just notch a couple, give Philly a couple of losses here and there throughout their season before they get to us in about what 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So. You know, we need to make sure we are ready to go against these Eagles and challenge them for the division. And that's the big thing, guys. The Redskins are also challenging if they win this game. They're what? They're 4-2, and the Eagles will be 5-2. So there will be basically a half game behind on the Eagles. It will be a 1.5 games. I think will be 1.5 games behind the Eagles. They're a half game behind the Eagles. So we need the Redskins to win this game, guys. It's 13 minutes and 4 seconds. It's 17-10 Philly. They have the ball. They're driving. But they did lose. A big injury update. The Eagles lost their best offensive lineman, the left tackle.
Number 71.
Number 71, Jason Peters. It looked really bad. His knee kind of got landed on, his right knee. And they had to put it in some kind of like inflatable boot or, so it looks like it's a torn ligament of some sort. Don't look good.
So an H2O, Ice H2O. Are you talking about that one hit where Zeke actually lost like 2 yards and one guy like hit him right in the middle, like right in like the stomach chest area, and Zeke just like stopped and went back?
That was Reuben Foster.
So that was one of the few times I will say Zeke really got like his world rocked. He was winded.
Yeah, and you can see he even looked a little bit out of it for a second there, Zeke, which is rare from Zeke. You rarely ever see that.
And remember that Foster, was playing hurt, injured the whole game. Like we saw him come out 3-4 times during that game for a player who was being evaluated on the sideline. So guys, major props to that San Francisco team who really put it all on the line and really busted their butts, and their players gave their all for their team. It was not enough, but they gave it their all.
Yeah, and guys, again, they're a desperate team. We handle them.
Teams are dangerous teams. We're going to really break down specifically, guys. I know it was 23 going into the second half, but we actually rewatched the game a little bit and really got to see, guys, DeMarcus Lawrence probably single-handedly helped maintain our control of the game because when he got that sack, San Francisco was about to score, and we'll kind of get more into that, guys, in just a second. I kind of want to recap and go back on the Ezekiel Elliott stuff. We broke it earlier.
Go ahead, baby. She's the one that broke it to everybody out there.
Short. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, guys.
Yeah, I just want to say that she did break all the Zeke information this morning about what happened. You're gonna go over that in a minute, and also Dan Bailey. We're gonna talk about that. That's a huge situation for the Cowboys that we gotta be careful
about. And guys,
about.
Just let me know real quick if you guys are getting the notifications for this stream. YouTube's been a little broken for us today. I don't think I got any of our notifications, but let me know if you guys got yours. So real quick, jumping into Zeke thing. So the NFL had filed a motion right after Judge Crotty ruled, saying that Ezekiel Elliott, he was going to give a temporary restraining order for 14 days. The NFL immediately filed a motion to speed up the hearing. They wanted Judge Fayez, which is the judge that's actually presiding over the case, to rule this week as soon as she came back from vacation, do it right away. so that Zeke's team could then appeal, and then that appeal could be turned down, and the whole case could be resolved by October 30th.
Yeah, which means he would not be able to play against the Redskins. But that was the big news. Judge Fias, who
yes.
actually his name is, I think her name is
Falas.
I think. I think it's like Falas.
All right. Well, for now I'm going to say Fias, guys. But but if it is a different, or pronounced differently.
But anyways, the point is Judge Fela, Judge Fila, whatever her name is, she is a pro NFL judge. She almost always rules for pro NFL. I mean, not almost, always has ruled.
And quick update on the game, guys. It is 2nd and goal for the Eagles here. They're on the 5-yard line.
They're winning 17-10. They're winning 17-10 right now with 2nd and goal, and they have trips left. They got somebody in motion.
Did they get the ball first?
I think so. Yeah,
Looks
but
it.
I want to say it's a penalty on the Eagles. Yeah. I do want to say though, guys.
Jose, thanks for joining us as well. What's up? How you doing?
I do want to say something, guys. That Eagles left tackle Jason Peters was just carted off, as we said, but here's the exact wording. Just carted off the field with his right leg in an air cast, guys. That's major bad news for the Eagles. For the blind side right now, it looks like they have, I'm not sure who's their backup, but that's one of the weaknesses.
Yeah, I was going to say either way, their backup's not going to be
well, obviously, this guy's a 9-time Pro Bowler, guys. He's a 9-time Pro Bowler, one of the best in the business. He's got Carson Wentz's blind side coverage. I'm just letting you know that those are the kind of things that can really be damaging to a team. Even though the Eagles might end up pulling this one out, they're gonna have some tough games in the second half of the season, and this game's still got a long way to go. We still have what, like 25 minutes of football game left. So
things happen, guys.
I mean, if they score here right now, it's 2nd and goal from the 9. So we'll tell you what happens here as we continue with the Zeke stuff. But
guys, like I said, we're gonna keep it a little high.
All overthrown, so incomplete.
So just kind of zero God loading. What's up?
What's up? What's up, Jose J? How you doing?
Wrapping up the Zeke thing.
And as you wrap it up, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like for the stream. It helps us out. If you're new, hit subscribe. Got a big burst of subscribers yesterday. We're almost at 1,000, guys. It's going to be a big celebration. We're going to do something special for 1,000, and we're not even ready yet because we didn't think it'd come this fast. But thank you all for contributing and helping us out. And hit that notification bell, guys. That gives us we do daily live streams, so make sure you guys hit that so you catch these when we go on live nightly usually. So and any kind of breaking news as well.
If the Redskins play like this and we can't beat them, then we are the ones with the problem. That's all I have to say. We should be able to, again, divisional games are always tricky.
Almost
like I said, if they play,
wow, what a play by Carson Wentz, guys. Wow, Smallwood caught that, I think. Well, Wentz should have been sacked.
Dak-like.
Wentz should have been sacked. He threw it away, threw a nice pass into the corner. And I think the running back, Corey Clement, scored a 9-yard touchdown pass. It should have been a sack. Should have been going for 3 right now. Should have been 20-10. But now it's going to be 24-10, guys.
Yeah, I want to watch real quick, and then we'll. Just a great move by Wentz. What can you say? He made a little move there, got out.
Wow.
Out from under that tackle.
And the Redskins have a good defense. I do think we should be able to handle them. Doesn't mean that we're going to win, guys. It's not an easy game. Tobias, it's an NFC East battle. I don't care if they were 1 win like the Giants or 0 wins. It'd still be tough, guys. It's still tough. These battles are always tough with NFC East. Do not expect a runaway either way by the Redskins or by the Cowboys this upcoming week. Yeah, even though we have Zeke confirmed 100%. The person we don't have is Dan Bailey. Yeah. He's confirmed 100% not going to be there, guys. Dan Bailey, our kicker. I mean, I believe he's an all-pro. I don't think he's ever been an all-pro, but I believe he should be an all-pro. He, as you know, yesterday hurt his groin. It looked like it was after the second extra point when it was 14-0. And he hurt his groin, and he never came back. We had Jeff Heath go in there, kick 2 out of 3 extra points. He made 2 out of 3. He did the kickoffs as well.
He did, and he, again, pretty solid job. Probably my personal favorite performance of Jeff Heath, other than his 1 interception from Tampa. But guys, I will say, as much as we rag on Heath, as much as I don't want to see him as a safety on our team, major props to him for stepping up and being a real good player coming in. Yeah. And we will talk a little bit about why Chris Jones wasn't the one who was doing that. But I want to finish with the Zeke stuff.
Go do this Zeke thing,
just because I know we all kind of hate talking about it in a way. We're tired that we have to keep talking about it. Yeah.
First off, what's up, Kevin Bilbo? What's up, Sean Wright? What's up, guys? What's up, Zero God Loading? As we said, everybody else already on here. So thank you all for joining us. Hit that like button and on to the Cowboy news.
Let's go. And Cowboys Abroad, what's up to you too?
Cowboys Abroad, what's up, brother?
So guys, basically the Zeke thing, the NFL filed a motion. They wanted Judge Fias to speed up the hearing. Yes, to expedite it. and she denied their motion. She came back from vacation today, denied their motion. Which means that it's not going to be expedited. And not only that, guys, but we do have confirmation that the preliminary injunction hearing is set for October 30th at 5 p.m.
And guys, that's a Monday. Remember, that's next Monday after. That's a week from today.
Against the Skins. And on top of that, guys, the hearing could go on much later, and it could start late because it looks like the judge is actually in trial that day. So we're saying 10:30 at 5 o'clock. It could be later. It could be pushed off. It could even be moved to the next day. So there's still lots of questions around, will he be eligible for the game after the Redskins? So definitely hit that notification bell, guys. Yeah. As of now, that's all the updates we have.
And there shouldn't be any more updates. Well, we have a lot of updates, but that's the only update we have on Zeke. And that should be the last one you're going to hear from us until Monday, guys. Yeah, Monday is going to be a ruling Monday evening. Make sure you have that go live button a week from today. By this point, we will probably know for the most part Zeke's fate. It's either going to be if they rule against him, it's going to be very hard for him to
be able to get back on the field in any reasonable time.
In any six games,
and that's if he somehow appeals this decision and beats the gets the appeal.
No.
If they rule against him,
if they rule against him, he's suspended. If there's no ruling. Let's say, because again, here's another thing you got to think about, and everybody out there should think about this too. It's already been said. By the way, hi, what's up, Brent 50K? And I wanted to say one last thing to Zero God. Yes, we did say that we wish him the best. You said wish Peters the best, so we hope he gets back out there as soon as possible. Obviously, it's a big blow to the Eagles.
Yeah, so I know when Rodgers got hurt too, there were some people making comments
cheering it. Yeah, that's so low class, guys.
I don't care who it is. Even when Odell got hurt, I never want to see players.
Anybody gets hurt, never. So guys, what was I just saying about Sorry, guys, just went bad for a second.
Oh, man, we lost...
I lost train of thought, but
No, not about... Oh, my goodness, guys. Remind us real quick what we were just talking about. Yeah, I'll go ahead and catch up with... Actually, Cowboys are right to make a good point. Heath missed half his kicks. Still a better kicker than safety. That's kind of an embarrassment for Jeff Heath there.
We got to get to what we were saying.
So, let me see. Oh, my goodness. It's on the tip of my tongue. Man, we both blinked out there, guys. It's been a crazy day. For both of us, and I see a lot of you guys saying how much the Redskins suck, and that's the thing. The Redskins don't suck, but these divisional games are
tough.
Something else.
And Peters is 35, but he's still one of the best out there, guys.
Kevin Bibble said, you remember when I said Cooper would be the best thing for our offensive O-line?
I said it too, guys. I said it from the beginning of the year. I said Cooper needs to – I thought he should have been the starter at the beginning of the year, not because he's necessarily better, because we can rely on him over injuries. And you saw what happens after 3 weeks. Chaz Green broke down. We had to throw Cooper in there. He had no reps. And then he hasn't really been able to flow with them until having 2 weeks off, having the bye, and him having more of a chance to get gelling with the offensive line. And you see how much better he is. We have Chaz Green as our backup tackle right now, both swing tackle. He could play behind Lyle Collins. He plays behind Tyron Smith. Of course, with his back, we know it's an issue.
And do you think that Tyron Smith's back is part of the reason why they did decide, or is it just the playing and the?
It's because Chaz Green is not able to do it. That's the main thing, guys. You want your best 5 guys out there in the end. At worst case scenario, if you could count on someone like Chaz Green, you can move Green over to the tackle spot, and then you can move. If Tyron Smith gets hurt, and then you can put Cooper in there. But you don't. But the Cowboys are done with Chaz Green. That whole experiment with him, trying to get him into the lineup healthy. He's just not possible. He cannot do that. So you know what? Let him be the backup for now. I mean, that's all we can say. And again, Cooper was a former first-round pick, top 10 pick. He's a bust for most people. He's been injured often. He hasn't really been able to chance to get to gel with any team until now. So we'll see. I always thought he looked pretty good. I thought he'd look better when he has Tyron Smith to his left and Travis Frederick to his right. That would help him just being reaching that level of first rounder, status, if you want to call it. Not even that close, but he's going to be out of the league if he don't make it with us. So he obviously is. We watched the game again, and he did fantastic, Jonathan Cooper. So again, if you watch
much improved.
You watch our preseason games, and every time Cooper played, other than I think the first week, we've been saying that Cooper looks solid there. Every week he was improving in the preseason and training camp and preseason, and he just seemed to gel better. And Chaz Green really didn't get that many opportunities out there, and when they threw him in there, he did okay, but you can see that something's off. Cooper seemed to gel better with the starters, and that's including Lyle Collins. He looked very good as well.
For whatever reason, Cooper just seems to work a little bit better there than Chaz Green, regardless of how much more talented Chaz Green is.
So right, and that's why I used to saying that, yes, that's basically what Chaz Green has become. Now he is the insurance. He's the insurance. He's basically Tyron Smith's back.
And Collins.
Right, but mainly
Tyron Smith,
Lyle Collins has an ankle. All right, I mean he'll be fine, but it's just Tyron Smith's constant back issue. He's our backup. He's our backup's back.
Yeah,
you know, he's literally his back.
And guys, I do see a few of you guys commenting on the Zeke thing, which is actually what we were discussing.
We just discussed
it,
but
kind of blanked out for a second there.
Basically, guys, real quick, go ahead.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go ahead. Just because I see a few of you guys. 3 times. Oh no, just because I see a few of you guys asking, is a hearing about fundamental fairness or procedural issues, guys? So no, this is just on the preliminary injunction. So right now, yes, the actual ruling if Zeke is going to be able to play the rest of the season or not while they continue to, investigate. So let's say the judge rules in favor of Zeke. That means Zeke plays, all of that, guys. If she rules against Zeke, that means the suspension.
But let's get a little deeper because you're kind of making it too general in a way, in the sense that if the judge rules for Zeke, it's not over yet. The NFL will appeal. They're probably going to lose the appeal because at this point, there's too much against them. So if Zeke wins this, he probably plays the rest of the season. But the problem is that then the investigation starts, guys, eventually.
Exactly.
After the appeal by the NFL gets denied and whatever, then the investigation starts. That takes months and months. So you're looking at next year at this point, if any suspensions have to be served. If they rule against Zeke, same thing. It's very different. He's going to have to go to the Supreme Court, probably will lose that appeal, probably will not be heard in the Supreme Court, and 99% chance that means that he starts his suspension on against the Chiefs the following week after the Redskins. Now, I want to make sure I stay on track here because that's where I left off, and that's why I don't want to forget. But again, guys, next year, him having to serve the suspension, of course, we all would rather he just get it over with now and that whole thing, but he's fighting for his name, his brand. And we said this multiple times that, he has to do this for him. Yes, we as Cowboy fans would love for it to be over with. He could have already been done with his 6 games. He'd probably be 2-4, 3-3 right now, or maybe even better. Who knows? My point is that it is the way it is right now. Zeke's fighting for his name. And when you talk about fundamental fairness, that's the next process. Once we get past this section of things, once the PI, the preliminary injunction, has been set in there and solidified, hopefully by this judge on the 30th of October. Once that occurs, then if that happens, he plays out the rest of the year. If he doesn't, most likely, if it is not, the investigation is done. We'll see what they agree, and then it comes down to fundamental fairness. There's a whole breakdown of things. Goodell might go on the stand. Tiffany Thompson might go on the stand.
Okay, so now at that point, just a whole investigation actually happens.
Yeah, and
so
that's something that we're going to just not even talk about. That's a whole long ways away.
We need to get to that step first, guys. So once we get there, we'll
October 30th. October 30th, Monday, next Monday is the first step. Now, here's what I wanted to say. On October 30th, the judge already said, Judge Fela already said, that this is going to be a couple days. This is not just a couple hours or just a quick hearing. This is a long hearing. So here's the thing. On Tuesday, there's no more restraining order, guys. Next Tuesday. So technically, he would be suspended. What judges usually do when they're hearing in the middle of a case, they would extend the TRO for maybe another 2 weeks or another week. Either way, it doesn't matter how long they extend it for because the judge is in the process of figuring it out. So unless they don't extend it, then he would be suspended on Tuesday, basically, guys. Next Tuesday, I'm saying, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he'll be suspended next Tuesday if nothing is extended for his TRO. The fact that they did extend the TRO, the previous judge that is ruling in the same district court, there's no way this judge is going to go against that. So they'll probably extend it for a couple more days. At least
while she's deliberating for sure. Correct. We definitely expect that.
Well, either way, whatever her decision is really going to, whatever she renders her decision is going to pretty much solidify the Zeke question for the rest of the season.
Yes.
Probably, if she rules in his favor, he probably plays the rest of the year. If she rules against him, he probably doesn't play the rest of the year. Yeah. I'm sorry, he doesn't play the 6 games. Now, one thing I did want to mention about those 6 games, guys, and think about all Cowboy fans that are listening to this right now. I was thinking about this. The game, if let's say the worst thing happens, let's say he loses the appeal or loses the preliminary injunction placement and they take the temporary restraining order off, NFL then applies the 6-game suspension and starts with the Chiefs. So we get the Chiefs at home, no Zeke. We get at Atlanta, no Zeke. Then we get home against Philly. That's a big one. No Zeke. Then we get the Chargers on Thanksgiving.
Don't we get the Redskins? Oh, no, we already
did. Then we get the Chargers on Thanksgiving. No Zeke. And then we get the Redskins again, guys. No Zeke. And then the last one would be the Giants at New York. No Zeke. The Charger game is at home. The Redskins game is at home. And the last one in the suspension would be at New York. No Zeke. So here's what I'm trying to say. If we had lost him for this Redskin game, he'd be back for the Giant game. What would you rather lose him for? Would you rather lose him for the Redskin game at Washington, or would you rather lose a team that right now is playing well? They have the whole season still ahead of them. They're in the running for the top seed in the division. or a Giants team by week 10 or 12, whatever,
no receivers,
who has no receivers, no offensive linemen, a million issues, hardly any wins. You know, even though it's in New York,
I'll take my chances in New York.
Exactly. I'd rather this works out better if he, you know, the fact that he got pushed back an extra week, that helps tremendously with having him against the Redskins, which I think we need him much more importantly for.
I agree.
A team that could damage us more, and I'd rather get the win against the Redskins than get the win against the Giants. Although I think we'll get the win against the Giants without Zeke. We need to make. You know, they have a tough defense still. It's in New York. They're going to want revenge, so it's not going to be easy no matter what they're ranked. They might have one win still. They can still beat.
It's
the
never,
NFC
East is never
it's always going to be tight, guys. So the
Mm-hmm.
Giants can beat us. They can beat the Redskins. They can beat the Giants. They almost beat the Eagles the other day, guys. So, I mean, I'm sorry, the Giants. They can beat the Eagles, Redskins, or Cowboys. And they almost beat they should have beat the Eagles, basically. They came really close to beating them and, you know, went for a couple lucky plays. My point is that there's a lot of time left for everybody but the Giants, basically, in the division. But all the games in the division are going to be tough. Which one would you rather have, the at-Washington game without Zeke or the at-New York game without Zeke? I'd rather have, at this point in this career, in this season, I'd rather have the at Giants game without Zeke, and I want Zeke with us next week at Washington.
And let us know in the comments, guys. You know, if you guys think that you'd rather have it the other way, let us know.
Of course, in the end, I'd rather have it 0 games, and hopefully, guys, after the long, if he wins his appeal or his injunction, if he wins it, and it keeps going, and he plays the rest of the season, guys, then in the off season and throughout this season, they'll be deliberating on this and calling people to the stand, and we'll be updating that as it goes on. That's way in the future. But again, that's an important thing too. That again, if somehow he can win, if somehow the collective bargaining did something unfair, you know, it was violated with unfairness or whatever you want to call it, that they're talking about, then there's a slight chance he could actually win, and that would be the best case scenario. He wouldn't miss any games. But this thing hanging over his head, hanging over the Cowboys' head, hanging over our fans, it is wearing on us, but it is about Zeke, and it's got to be wearing worse on Zeke.
It's more than just the team, guys.
It's more about the team in this situation. It's about his name, and I still support him and fighting it out to the end. So
I want to take a quick moment to shout out every single one of you guys out here watching. We have John Lopez, Kevin Bilbo, Gary Stokes, Ice H2O, Tobias, Cowboys Abroad, Barbara Long, Ashton,
and
Brian, let me see, Beast Mode Gamer, Carrie Baptista, thanks for joining us too. Colton Plays, what's up? So, and if I missed any of you guys, make sure to drop a comment down in the chat. We'll go ahead and make sure to shout you out. Because seriously, guys, you guys
and girls out there, kids,
so great.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us, guys. Make sure you hit that like for the stream. It helps pump it up and get us out there. And also, exactly, if you also are new and joining this, we do this every day. We do game day live streams. You can check back all our videos. We do Madden stuff, guys. You can check it all out. Guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We do this every single day.
That's right,
Plus
guys.
Breaking news, so keep that in mind. So, is that the Zeke stuff pretty much?
Let me see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Zeke. And the other thing that I talked about in our breaking news video was, of course, Dan Bailey. So, guys, Dan Bailey, about halfway through the game, we saw that the Cowboys went for 2 points.
Yeah, it was 20-3.
Yeah,
so for the half around that.
Yeah, so we ended up going for 2, and everyone's kind of like, why are you going for 2? Where's Dan Bailey? So we found out Dan Bailey had a pulled groin. We didn't know how serious it was. Unfortunately, today it was pretty much confirmed by Dallas that it could be up to a few weeks. They haven't really talked too much about the severity. But from everything we're hearing and seeing from Cowboys camp, it looks like we can expect Dan Bailey to be out for at least the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So, of course, baby, what is the next step for the Cowboys from here?
Well, here's the thing, guys. So let me, just going over what you're saying so everybody hears it clearly and just make sure there's no, you know, maybe you said something that I missed. Maybe I'm saying something you missed. But either way, Jason Garrett said Dan Bailey, he said, we do anticipate him being out. So he's going to be out at least a couple of weeks, guys. Yeah. At least a couple of weeks. The Cowboys also said that they're going to sign a free agent kicker tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow we might, if you get a chance to break it, if I get just a break, we might let you know who we signed to become our temporary kicker until all hail Dan Bailey gets back.
Breaking news, you heard it here first. It's Roberto Aguayo.
No.
Guys, I am just joking when I said that. I know I got a little bit of
she was making a joke,
on the live stream. I want to make it clear that's a joke.
So the Cowboy kickers, the Cowboys who's running kickers today, the 3 guys, the main guys that are going to probably be signed. One of those 3 is Mike Nugent. If you guys know, he clicked a lot of teams. I think he picked it with the Jets, with the Bengals. He's had a lot of experience in the league. And again, he's not the greatest kicker. He might be able to do enough to hold it together, though. Again, guys, we need to score touchdowns. Even with Bailey, we need to score touchdowns, not field goals. I've been saying that. The game plan as far as that has never changed. But now it's even more crucial because we don't have Dan Bailey field goals to kind of
fall back on.
Those easy three are not there anymore. So Nugent,
Cowboys abroad, I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
we'll touch on that
Nugent is Mike Nugent is definitely, I think, the best out of the three. We have Jason Myers, former Jags kicker. I recall him not being that good. And then, of course, the guy we had in training camp, Sam Irwin-Hill, who is from Australia, and he's, I guess he's rugby or whatever, but he definitely is a guy that they're brought back into camp along with Jason, the guy, as I said, Jason Myers, which I don't think they'll be getting him, or Mike Nugent. So again, I think he's the leader in that. But again, with the Australian guy, I think that he has also a head start, I guess you could have a foot in the door since he's already been with us throughout the whole camp. So
yeah, so in AF 1892, I know groin injuries really are, one of those lingering injuries,
especially for a kicker.
Hamstrings, yeah.
Especially for a kicker too. That's the worst place.
You need that muscle area a lot when you make kicks.
I said this in the stream yesterday, in our live stream, game day stream during the game. But it just reminds me. I hope we don't see what happened with Nick Folk. You guys remember back 7-10 years ago, we had Nick Folk. He was an awesome kicker. He had the power leg. He was accurate. He had an injury. He tweaked his leg somewhere, a hamstring, a groin, something like that. Never the same, guys. You saw him with the Bucks. He was fighting with Aguayo, and the only reason he won it was because he was just the least bad out of the two. He was real bad, and he still. I think they cut him. They cut him. And after a couple of weeks, he missed a couple extra points. So Nick Folk, guys, Cowboy kicker, he was a great kicker for us when he was. And then he was never the same after the injury. I just hope Bailey does not experience that.
I know Bailey was hurt once before. I don't think it was a pulled groin though. But Dan Bailey so far has been the kind of kicker who's bounced back pretty healthy. He's been a very overall consistently healthy.
The Australian.
So I really am hoping that this is just kind of one of those unfortunate things that happen, a minor setback. We want Dan Bailey back to 100%. It
was really strange. Yeah, and Kevin Bowers, Raphael Septien, I think he was a child molester, if I recall.
Oh, wow.
Number 1 from the Cowboys. I remember him back in, Redskins got a big game. They're almost in the red zone right now.
That's good.
They could kick this game to a 7-point game. We're almost entering the end of the third here, under 3 minutes in the third quarter, guys. But everybody out there, Kerry Batista, AF 1892, Beast Mode Gamer plays. Kevin Bowers, Kevin Bilbo, all you guys, thank you for joining us. Everybody else that you mentioned earlier. And guys, hit like on the stream, hit subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell, guys. We do this every day. We do game day live streams. We do Madden. So if you have Madden, you have Madden 18 and PlayStation 4, check the link description below. There's my gamer tag. You can send me an invite. I guess
purple_football7.
Purple_football7. You can send me an invite. Oh, I'm sorry, not invite, but friend request or gamer tag name through there, and then I can send you an invite to the league. We're on week 2 right now, and so you guys can check out those streams. I kind of put them to the side because it's not Cowboy football. We're mainly Cowboy football here on this channel, guys. But we do everything. If you do like
that part of things, then definitely make sure to join us. We have a lot of fun doing it, and it's because of you guys.
Yeah, we had some good close games right now, guys. So some heartbreakers. So guys, just a little thing more on what's his name?
Yeah, well, with the whole Dan Bailey thing, I know your first thought at least, because I remember when I saw Jeff Heath as a kicker, I'm like, where the heck is Chris Jones? Why isn't he doing it? So guys, we did get a little bit of news out of the Cowboys camp on why. Oh, sack. Someone in the chat said it. Yeah. Why? Chris Jones wasn't the one making those kicks. So it was a few reasons. One, he himself has said that he gets very nervous. He gets very nervous making kicks, kicking for extra points. He doesn't feel confident doing it. And part of that as well is that he's actually the one who takes the snap.
Yeah, he's the holder.
Who holds the snap. Yeah, who holds it.
And usually, guys, the backup quarterback is the holder, but the Cowboys had Kellen Moore, and he was inactive. So Cooper Rush doesn't take. I don't think he's ever taken it. I don't know what he's taking. I don't know if he has or not. But either way, guys, they have to rely on. That's a very important part of the whole kick and the extra point field goal, whatever it may be, is the holder. Nice.
Exactly.
First down and goal on the 5
felt that
for the Redskins.
At that point, it was almost too much moving around.
Yeah.
And you can't kick it if it's not a secured
hold
ball.
And put down right.
So.
One of the Redskins hurt guys. Shreff, lineman number 75. Another guy injured. Of course, they play us next week. I don't know how bad his injury is. He might not be playing with us.
They play us in 6 days.
It's 6 days. And that's another thing, guys. Quick turnaround for the Redskins, which, again, with us, it's been quick turnarounds against 2 teams in a row with the Rams and Green Bay.
It must be bad.
The Rams and Green Bay, 2 teams in a row. They had, his leg. Again, guys, same thing that happened to Peters. Same thing that happened to Peters. Same happened to number 75, Shreff, to this guy's left leg. So, guys, it's a lot of hurt knees right now for linemen, defensive and offensive linemen, honestly, mainly in this game for both NFC East rivals, guys. Yeah. Brandon Shreff, right guard, number 75. It looks bad. It looked bad. It looked like Peters. He's out there crying. Yeah. Peters was out there pretty much crying and yelling. They're going to probably have to cart this guy off as well.
I'm actually going to knock on wood here because I'm just glad that our worst lineman injury was a contusion to Sean Lee's quad.
Well, he's not a lineman. He's not a lineman,
that's right.
linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
Still got to help her sometimes, guys.
So many of these things sound the same, guys. Sorry, but...
Really, guys?
Yeah, they do.
They don't.
No, as far as our worst injury other than Dan Bailey, though, I think that the Sean Lee
guys,
the game.
I'm going to touch on that in a second.
Okay.
But I do want to say, first of all, like you said, Chris Jones, he gets nervous about kicking field goals. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Heath is better at him at it. That's just in practice. Heath is just a better kicker than him. Yeah. Heath did it in high school. He actually probably has more practice than Chris Jones does. Also, Chris Jones is the holder. So keep that in mind. Again, he really hasn't practiced kicks, like you said. Right. And, too many switching around, and they had to get a new holder. And guys, another thing about this whole Bailey thing, which is crazy. Our third kicker, because Heath was hurt in that game, our third kicker is our long snapper. The guy who snaps to Chris Jones to put it down for Dan Bailey.
So who the heck is going to snap?
That's a nightmare, a special teams nightmare, guys. LP Lisador. This guy's like a big lineman. He's kind of thin because he's a long snapper. Usually they are kind of like, they're not really like linemen. But guys, he is LP Lisador would have been out there kicking extra points, field goals if necessary, if needed. I don't think they would have brought him out. They probably, and I don't know who would have been the long snapper at that point. The whole special teams would have been turned upside down, guys. Touchdown to Redskins.
I don't think that's ever a question
Jordan Reed.
Stop to think and ask.
Or Josh Reed, whatever his name is, Reed.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Jordan Reed.
He got a touchdown, guys. It's going to be 24-17.
With a lot of injuries on both sides.
44 seconds before we get into the fourth quarter. So Jordan Reed scored 5-yard touchdown reception. It's 24-16. They're going to kick the extra point now. Hopefully they'll make it. And make it a 7-point game, guys, into the fourth. I want to get this news out so we can really do this live stream and enjoy it. I'm trying to keep them watching. I see you watching it.
No. It's not that. It's just I'm going to go ahead and read these last two comments. We'll go ahead and hop back into the news. But AF1892 said, speaking of Green Bay, all the beer was bought at the grocery store today because the Packers fans are so sad. So, yes,
it's going to be tough rest of the year for them.
Violin. Yeah. All the alcohol will be short in Green Bay. Yeah. And Cowboys Abroad said Dan Bailey got hurt during pregame warm-ups. Tried to give it a go, didn't work out. We were. Is
that what you heard? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, we didn't see anything about that.
Oh, he missed it. Oh, he made it.
He made it. But we were really, really looking at the game to try to figure out where Dan Bailey got hurt, and we're trying to watch it, trying to look. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me.
If we see
the last kickoff I think he had looked a little bit.
No, it was the one before that that you thought. It was, guys. And I was actually the Redskins almost. It was a bad kick. It looked like a bad hold. We're just talking about that. The Redskins just barely snuck it into there for the extra point, which is really again a much needed extra point. With 44 seconds, it's 24-17. 44 seconds left in the third quarter, guys. And we're gonna do the rest of this game, this fourth quarter, with you guys right on here. We're going to be rooting for the Redskins. So it's hard to do it, but we're going to do it because we're going against the Eagles. Yeah. And it's going to help the whole division if we can have the Redskins win this game. Yeah, and Kerry Baptista, that's because you never want anyone to be the quarterback other than your starting quarterback. He's the guy who, being a quarterback is more than just the trick player, the arm. No, he asked, why don't we use Dez as a QB more? It worked on that one play, one time. Once or twice a year at most.
At one play, one time, but that's pretty much it. And Dez is left-handed. I mean, you can't just go in there.
It's a whole adjustment to the receivers.
Asking for an interception.
Yeah, that's how you mess up. That's when you get too. That's not even cute. That's just like stupid. I'm sorry, no offense, but that would be a stupid thing for Dez to be back there throwing the ball 2 or 3 times a game.
To take.
And he's going to throw at least a pick on one of those guys.
So always wondered a few times we've done it. It worked out, and again, that's because we've only done it a few times. I can think of one time we did it. That was last year, one time. Other than that, nothing else jumps out at me. But let me see. Go Reds beast mode. I don't know about that. Go Redskins, but for now we are rooting for the Redskins this game. And Virgil Johnson, I believe if we play against the Eagles and Redskins like we did against the Niners,
we have a good chance.
I mean, if we play against every team, we'll win. We got the Super Bowl easy.
Well, I mean, I think it's gonna be, guys. Don't get too happy.
No, he's saying if we play like that, the 49ers.
If we play this way, it will not be 40-10 against the Redskins. It will not be 40-10 against the Eagles. It might be 24-17. Cowboys win, but it's going to be close. Even if we play really well, guys, because these teams are good. The Niners are not as good as these other two teams that we're watching right now on our screen.
And the Simmons family is confirming.
What's up? How you doing?
He says no, he's right. He got hurt pregame warm-ups.
Really?
He tried to go, but
all right. So thank you for that, guys.
Thank you guys for that information.
Simmons family and Cowboys, but thank you for the update on that. It is important to know that happened. I did not know that.
Yeah, guys, we're here to spread the facts, but the fact that he was able to successfully do what he did, he did not look hurt.
He kicked 2 extra points. He kicked off 2 times. So, guys, I mean, he had 2 kickoffs, 2 extra points. and then he couldn't do it anymore. So I mean, it just shows that he could have probably come out there again. Heath, it wasn't a game that we really needed him, I guess. Luckily we didn't need the field goals.
I think if it would have come down to it and we needed like that field goal to win or that extra point, you don't think they would have? No, because even Dan Bailey himself would have gone out
because they ruled him out already. Once they rule him out, that's usually a definite thing. When the coaches rule you out, they want you out, guys. And again, when we saw Sean Lee hopping around and stuff, it was a quad contusion, which is a deep quadricep bruise. He's okay. All the coaches, everybody has said he's going to play on Sunday against the Redskins. So right now, guys, other than Dan Bailey, Justin Durant looks like he's going to play against them. Everybody, and then we're going to worry about one other guy still, but I'll talk about him in a minute, guys.
Yeah, so, just to finish up with the Dan Bailey, Kevin Bauer said, yes, he originally suffered injury during pregame warmups, left the game second quarter after hitting the 2 point after touchdowns per Sports Day Dallas.
And the kickoff. He did the kickoff after that last.
So guys, thank you so much for all that. We love spreading the facts here, especially when it comes to the Cowboys. We appreciate you guys helping us out.
Thank you so much, all of you guys.
So, and it's good to know because, again, that changes my perspective of the game a little bit. I know once we're done with this stream, we're probably going to go back because I want to look at Dan Bailey again. He's one of my favorite players on the Cowboys team.
We watched all his kicks. We actually sat back right before we did the stream. We watched all his kicks to see where it happened. And like you said, we didn't know it was before the game. But he looked fine. One time he kind of jumped a little bit weird.
I thought that maybe that's when it happened, but again, it was so.
It didn't look like he didn't look like he re-aggravated anything. Again, with a groin injury and a kicker, you really might not be able to tell. You just don't want
T-beast mode.
You just don't want to tear anything when you're doing something like that, guys. I want to say one other thing about Bailey. This is pretty much. I think this is about it, but this is very important. We have to cut somebody. We're not going to cut Bailey. We're not putting
another kicker. We got to make space.
And guys, Bailey's injury is not going to be obviously, thank goodness, not an IR injury. He's going to be out like Rico Gathers for 8 weeks because if you put him on IR, he's gone 8 weeks. That's not the injury he's got. So he's a 2 to 3 or 4 week injury at most. Hopefully the sooner the better. But in the meantime, we have to make room. So who do we cut, guys? And I predict, and you do too. I think we all talked about this,
especially with who was our backup quarterback.
Correct, and we're all going to be happy that we all hope and think it's going to be Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore should be the next guy in the cutting block, based on the fact that
no more.
Yeah, no more. But based on the fact that we put Cooper Rush in there, he looked good against starting quality teams. You know what I'm saying? So he's played against backups throughout the whole preseason, but in this game he played against starters. He did well. He looked composed. Again,
he handled himself
right in a non-worrisome situation. So you really don't test him yet, but. He cannot be worse than Kellen Moore, guys. He cannot be worse than Kellen. So I'll take Cooper Rush.
Let's give Cooper Rush the chance to prove himself and see if he's going to be better or worse than Moore.
It's time to end Kellen Moore.
Thank you for subscribing yesterday.
Thank
we appreciate every single one of you guys. Hopefully
you like what we're
doing here. Yep, we stream every day. We stream our reaction to every single Cowboys game. And if you want to go back and check out some of our other videos, we have some info there.
A lot of good information, as well. Guys. And some of the stuff comes from you guys that help us in these threads, just like the injury to Bailey and when it happened. Thank you for that. It's a big breaking thing. We missed that.
And so thank you for that. Wants to know who was the defensive MVP in your opinion?
Well, I mean, again, guys,
it's hard for me to pick one person. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna give it to DeMarcus Lawrence, if only because he
that
had
big play before the half.
Exactly, the play that he had because guys, we had
sack,
3
fumble,
guys.
Recovery. He sacked them, caused a fumble, and recovered the fumble,
guys. Exactly. So I think that to me changed the game. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit more.
Well, we'll talk about it now. I mean, basically, it was 22. It was 20-3. 20-3 at that moment.
49ers are driving. They're in the red zone.
Under a minute left.
To score on us. And this is after we found out about the Dan Bailey thing, too, guys. So it was
the
looking
danger
like
increases.
We're going into halftime with the score 20-10, and the Niners got the ball back coming into the second half.
Yeah,
so keep that in mind.
And then DeMarcus Lawrence on second down came in there on second and goal and just did a great job getting that ball out, causing a fumble. Oh man, I'm just saying Carson Wentz just broke out of a.
All I see is a pile of people.
It was 3rd down and 8 for Carson Wentz, and he somehow did not get sacked. Avoided like 3 sacks and got a 20-yard run and got a first down. That's a killer, right? That's a killer right there, guys. And that's why people are gonna say Wentz this, Wentz that, and he deserves it, guys. He's looking good. Look at him out there. How did he get out? I don't know how he got out of that.
He literally got squeezed out of there like a tube of toothpaste. And just like squeaked his way underneath.
That's incredible, guys. And again, it says a lot about him, but they kept blocking. And that guy there was a defensive guy who was over the running back trying to get to him, but the running back kept blocking him back, and he could not. He was like grasping at him, but he missed him. Great play by the blocking right there, but great mindset and heads up play by Carson Wentz, guys. He's the real deal. Like I said this last year, and I said it again this year, guys. He's the real deal. So like Dak. both are going to be the future of this.
And you know, not just the future, but think of it this way: we have the Eagles and the Cowboys, who both drafted new franchise quarterbacks.
They're going to be around for a while, guys.
You know, these past years.
Eli and Kirk.
Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott are two names we're going to be hearing a lot. Kirk Cousins, another great quarterback. Hopefully he doesn't leave the Redskins. For
great in yardage for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, just
you know, would you rather have him or Eli? So, and now Eli, who obviously seems to be, hopefully for the Giants, on his way out. Very interesting to see how this next generation of NFC East quarterbacks does.
I think I'm gonna say before I jump to the defensive MVP question, I want Kevin Bowers says Field Yates check. Actually, I got that information early today, but that was not all true because right there, you see we have Young Ho Koo was not worked out. Another guy, Dan Carpenter, was another guy who was supposed to be working out with him. Did not work out. Only the three guys: Mike Nugent, Jason Myers, and Sam Irwin Hill. The only three to work out with the Cowboys. So we're not going to sign Young Ho's. Young Ho is going to stay probably unemployed right now. For now, I'm sure. He can get a better job, though, being a young ho. So, anyways, that's his name. That's his name.
I know. But, so, guys, so, anyway, that's
my defensive player of the game has to be, I mean, look, I'm going to go through a couple guys. I love what the combination. I said this throughout the whole week, and I'm going to continue saying this because Sean Lee is healthy. Yeah. Sean Lee and Anthony Hitchens in the middle, both together. Not Jalen Smith. It was Jalen Smith in the end, and he did a lot of great things. Mm-hmm. That's what we want from Jalen Smith, guys. We want Jalen Smith to come in the third quarter or spot play here and there and adding pressure and mixing it up, coming in for Sean Lee for a couple plays, coming in for Hitchens in a couple plays. And I think, wow, unbelievable. What a catch by Alston Jeffrey.
Yes.
Wow.
And guys, if you are just joining us here for the first time, make sure to hit like on our stream. It really does help out our channel. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah. And again, I like what the linebackers did. Mainly, obviously, Hitchens and Sean Lee. That's why our run game got stopping. Our run defense got better. Our coverage was better. The pressure on the quarterback was better because of these two guys leading the defense. That's 1 and 2. But I'm not even going to give it to them. But they did everything they had to do. Byron Jones, guys, the glue in the secondary. Jordan Lewis had a bad game. And again, that's one thing I will say. I want to quote Jordan Lewis on something because that's why I have much respect for him and what he said after the game. Now, mind you, guys, he had a bad game. It's probably his worst game of the year so far.
Which is again
saying a lot for a rookie, guys.
Yeah.
But again, even with that, he hasn't really. It didn't really show too much out there. He did blow some plays, but didn't cost us too much. Exactly.
The rest of the team was able to make up for it.
A lot of that had to do with Byron Jones, guys. Byron Jones. One drive, he single-handedly had 3 stops on one drive. He was great coverage, and on third down, and the first 2 downs, he made a tackle, and he like knocked the ball down or forced the guy to go out of bounds. The point is, Byron Jones did a great job yesterday, so I give him much credit as well. But the defensive line is why our defense was able to put pressure. Once we took the lead and jumped on the touchdown. Oh, touchdown!
Who was that?
Aguilar. Hands like feet. Oh. Yeah, guys. Yeah.
You say that every time.
Yeah, they just scored real quick. They just scored real quick. 11 minutes and 10 seconds. It's going to be 31-17, guys. Eagles with a little bit over 11 minutes. Still a lot of time, but the Redskins defense cannot go down like that. And hopefully they go like that against us next week.
And again, the Eagles and the Redskins both
banged
lost.
Up. They're really banged up. Sorry, guys, we're jumping back and forth. So, but
lots going on.
The one thing I will say that I like what Jordan Lewis said, guys. Mm-hmm. He said, "Great win, but terrible performance." That's what he said about himself. He had a terrible performance. He goes, "He's got to keep building." Go boys. That's what he said. So much respect to someone like him, who was a rookie, number 27, Jordan Lewis, who didn't play anything in the whole season until week 2 against the Broncos. First time ever playing as a rookie in the NFL, and now he's become a starter. He's seeing more gameplay, guys. He's in there seeing new packages because he's playing a starting cornerback. Now he's not just a third or fourth guy.
A nickel or Jones a little differently as well.
We do, and we also taken out a lot of Jeff Heath, guys. Yesterday's game, and not because of the kicking, we took out Jeff Heath and put in Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods
played a lot more safety. And guys, I really have to say this goes into the Jordan Lewis thing, but the last 2 years we've had such a high quality, high caliber rookie class, and not just in performance, but in attitude and mentality as well. I like the players that they're drafting. Chidobe Awuzie and Jordan Lewis are two, and Xavier Woods. I'm going to use those three as examples because they all have the right mindset. Right. They're going out there. They're continuously improving, getting better. Chido's been held back by those injuries.
But we're going to talk about him in a little bit. But right now, guys, Jordan Lewis, we win 40-10. This guy's still focused on his mistakes, guys, and getting better. That's fantastic. That's what we want to see.
Mindset goes into that. Love it.
Somebody who has had the wrong mindset of things. I want to touch on because some news came out about him today. Randall Gregory, guys, number 94. We drafted him 2 years ago. This is his third year. He's played about 11 or 12 games with us because of his drug suspension, marijuana use, getting suspended on top of while suspended, he got suspended. He got failed a drug test.
Suspension on top of your suspension.
Yeah, but I mean, last year he basically played 2 games, suspended for the playoff game. Then, and because he did fail the drug test last year in the middle of his suspension, he was also suspended indefinitely for this season. Now, he's eligible to return to what do you call it, to get reinstated. So he can make a case for himself to get reinstated here coming up in November, which is good news. He's a talented guy. Can he stay clean? Can he not smoke weed?
Yeah, and he's really not costing us anything now as far as us keeping him.
Money wise, he's not a hurt at all. But again, guys, a big deal is if he can get back there and be off of drugs and be off of all these things that are going on in his life, that is the reason why he's not playing in the NFL right now. That'd be great. But and again, people are looking. A couple weeks ago, people were like, "This guy might be coming back. There's a chance."
I mean, but when was the last time he was even out on the field?
Oh, baby, it was last year against the Eagles game. It didn't mean a thing. That was his last 2 games he was in the game last year.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like I mean, it's
but he still shows flashes of greatness.
I know he still shows flashes of greatness.
Now, here's the thing, though.
DJ Crown J, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
DJ Crown J? And I want to definitely go back to Ice H2O. I'm going to go to him in a minute about defensive MVP. I want to jump to this Randy Gregory situation, number 94. Right now they're saying that he is not ready. Mindset is not ready yet. They're saying that he might have to go back to a rehab center, even though he hasn't failed any drug tests, guys.
I mean, what is even the point of keeping a guy who's like?
Oh, we have to keep him to the end of his contract, so it don't cost us against salary cap.
That I get, but I mean, why even bother giving this guy a shot? And look, I am all about giving people as many, shots, and I understand that
he's had a couple already.
Addiction itself is a thing, but this isn't addiction, guys. We're talking marijuana here. If this man can't stop himself from doing this,
something that's not addictive,
once or twice, this is like 3 times on top of the time when he was already suspended. If you're football playing your career, all these things are not worth that one thing.
Let me put it this way. Yeah,
bye, Gregory.
Let me put it this way. First of all, I would love for him to get him back to normal, whatever. But let's just say the NFL didn't allow you to eat hot dogs, all right? Eat cheeseburgers and hot dogs while you're playing with them. Would you stop for the money you'll be making to play a sport that you love, that you've been playing your whole career?
Burgers aren't delicious. No one's saying that they're not the bee's knees.
I would stop eating burgers and hot dogs to be able to have a life in the NFL, contract, money, riches, fame, whatever. Playing the game I love. It beats everything else. So Randall Gregory's going to find out the hard way, guys, if he does not get himself straight.
21, Patrick Robinson, cornerback for the Eagles, injured. Looks like some knee or ankle.
So while they take a break there, we're going to finish this up, though. I do want to say, though, guys, Randall Gregory, if he does not get it together, he will be playing. It doesn't matter if they
he's grabbing that
reinstate if they reinstate him. We still might release him, guys. And again, I would love to see him on the team, being a great comeback. He gets his mind right. He gets reinstated. Maybe he goes to training camp. He has a good training camp. Give him a chance if he can do it. But again, like Chaz Green with his injuries, it's getting a short leash with him, guys. Right now, he's just a backup now.
How many
Randall Gregory?
Do you need to give this guy?
Gregory has again because exactly what you said. It is marijuana. It's not cocaine or some kind of real addictive thing.
That almost makes it worse for me personally because again, now it really does come down to a self-discipline thing, I guess. And again, if you have someone who isn't even worth putting in the effort, this man has not shown any actual effort off the field that he wants to play. And again, that's the thing that bothers me.
It's an issue for him,
show that effort on and off the field. So off the field, all he shows
it's his mindset,
is that he
guys. His mindset is not set yet, and that's the point. Even with all that stuff, his mindset's not right. He might have to go to rehab. And they're not even saying why. Obviously, it's probably maybe because he might be failing a drug test soon. It might be announced soon. Either way, guys, I don't know what you're going to see from him. If maybe this is just rumors.
Happy, good riddance.
Yeah, but again, for me, I'm not like that because of what it is. I don't think it's affecting him in a sense that I don't think it's going to affect him. Like let's say he was on cocaine or he was on heroin, guys. He would not even be able to get on the field. It's kind of like
wouldn't be able to function.
It's kind of like Ronaldo McClain, number 55, guys. He was just drinking codeine. Well, he was drinking codeine and grape soda, basically, scissor. So I mean, he's drinking, and he was addicted to that, and that's codeine, guys. That's basically a different form of what, cocaine or something like that. Yeah, morphine. I think it's like cocaine. I'm not sure. Codeine is a powerful drug, guys, and he was addicted. He's out of the league. He became overweight. He didn't care anymore. Now, Randall Gregory, he I don't know if he's at that level, but obviously he doesn't see what the big deal is with marijuana. And again, whether or not you think it is or not, it is illegal in his job. Yeah. So he needs to, no matter what the laws are, he has to respect that. Like I said, that's why I said burgers and hot dogs, because you got to stop eating it. You got to stop eating it if you love it, even if you don't think it should be illegal to eat it on your job.
Exactly.
Too bad. Deal with it. Exactly. So that's Kevin Bowers. I just wanted to bring him up because I know a lot of people were talking about him and maybe what we do when we cut him. This is the situation, the updated situation with Randall Gregory, guys.
And guys, thank you so much. We appreciate Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yes, thank you.
He says great work, great channel.
Thank you. You have a great channel too, guys.
Mentally prepared for Washington.
Yeah.
So
watching it right now, guys, on TV.
Today's our Victory Monday, but you never rest easy.
It's still
Thank you.
It's Victory Monday, but also Scouting Monday because we're watching the Redskins right now.
So we do double duty here. And then
really,
DJ Crown J actually makes a good point. He said he did rehab this summer and passed 3 drug tests between August and September. So then on top, you're telling me that on top of all these things, you're still saying he needs another thing of rehab. There has to be something else, something more.
Exactly.
Because if he's doing all those things off the field and making all these efforts, why is it not translating into anything?
And I wonder where the Cowboys staff and executives and all their people are. I wonder where they are in this.
Still says that Jerry loves Randall.
Yeah, he does. And again, obviously he needs help. So if I was the Cowboy, and again, what I'm hearing is that he slept at his lawyer's house because they didn't want him hanging out with friends and stuff that would bring around the weed and stuff like that. So,
but that's what I'm saying. If you need a babysitter, guys, much to this point,
it's not worth keeping him, right?
I'm gonna keep saying it because I still can't wrap my head around it. Marijuana, guys, we're not talking cocaine or heroin.
Something that's really truly addictive,
or pain pills. Like, I just.
And that's probably why he does it, because he doesn't believe it should be done. Okay, you get I don't know. Oh, interception, guys.
Man,
that's going to be hard for the Redskins to come back on now. The Eagles are basically in the red zone.
And again, just injury, guys. Injury after injury. I didn't see too many penalties this game. I'll give it to them. It was a pretty clean game on both sides. No.
I do want to say the defensive MVP, though, that someone said. And again, I like what
I think it was Cowboys Abroad. I think you were the one that brought it up earlier.
Ice Age, whatever's not Ice Age. Not Ice Age, but Ice, whatever his name is, said that DeMarcus Lawrence and David Irving. I like DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's doing what he should do.
True.
So I think David Irving is the one that I think he's our best defensive player. David Irving on our front line. Let me rephrase that. On our front line, obviously Sean Lee, Hitchens. I think these guys are overall better, but. Well, I'm talking about who's going to emerge, who's our future on that defense, on the defensive line. And I'm not talking about Chidobe Awuzie or Jordan Lewis or Xavier Woods. We know they're the future. I'm talking about right now, who's the guy who's making the impact right now? And I think that's David Irving, number 95. Guys, this guy's he's a wrecking ball. He disrupts the pocket in the passing game. Even if he don't get up there, he does apply pressure. He gets sacks. He causes turnovers. He disrupts the running game. Guys, David Irving is a beast. And I've said this from... I think 2 years ago when I seen him out there, I'm like, who's this guy? He's so big. Why can't we? He's like Ed Too Tall Jones. He remind me of number 72, Ed Too Tall Jones for the old schoolers back out here. Ed Too Tall Jones was a huge. They used him perfectly as defensive end, and that's why I was surprised he wasn't playing defensive end 2 years ago. Yeah. Last year they started using him inside, and he was disruptive. And now I say, guys, he can play inside and out, but inside he's so disruptive. He reminds me of a bigger, stronger Stephen Paya. Yeah, he's a bigger, stronger. He's like double the size of Stephen Paya. So he gets in there. He's getting in there, guys. He got the length, the arms, the strength.
DJ Crown J, Randy Gregory definitely has a personal issue. He needs to work with himself. But like I said,
I agree.
Do the Cowboys need to take that on? Right now, like you said, it's kind of a no real risk. I really do hope he can turn it around. I would love to have him, be like that weird, crazy success story. But guys, at this point, it's on him. Let's see what happens here, but I want to catch up with some more comments. So Mr. Wright said, you'd give up cheeseburgers or hot dogs. What about something you love like Randy? No women. When you're in the league, could you do it? I could easily go without women. Just, and as far as flipping it around to men, I get it. But again,
for women, it's probably a little easier.
I get it, but look, let me put myself in a man's shoes. And I understand, obviously, the appeal. Women are awesome. They're great. But guys... it isn't like he just woke up one day and said, I'll join the NFL. He worked for, I'm assuming,
his
years.
Whole life.
He worked his life to play this as his life, his career. We know football is more than just a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It's training your whole life for this.
It's mental, physical, emotional, and not just on you. You're fit. So Randy Gregory didn't just wake up one day and decide to be a football player. He worked to be this. and he gave it up.
And he's giving it away right now. He's giving it all away.
And he's not the only one, guys. We've seen
there's others that do that.
Like this,
we took a chance on him. He's partially the reason why we don't have a pass rush, guys, because we used that second round pick on a guy who should have been a top pick. You know,
and that goes to show you how those things bite you.
Well, yeah, and it's happened with Jalen Smith. It could have happened. You know, people were saying the same thing about him. It's a risk you do, guys. And so the risk is 34-17 right now. Philly's winning. With about 6.5 minutes left to go, guys.
Block it.
So no, it's good. So I'm just saying, guys, someone like Randall Gregory, who is, we were banking on him to lead, to anchor the other side with DeMarcus Lawrence, and the one side broke down, and then the whole line broke down. And then DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt, and then we've taken a couple of years just to replenish and rebuild this line. So now we have a rotational situation.
Exactly.
We're losing guys. We made inactive Mayowa. We made inactive. Who else was inactive that game? Mayowa and
not Crawford.
Moore. Yeah, Demontre Moore.
There we go.
So we made both these guys inactive. Two guys, Moore as a pass rushing specialist, to put Taco Charlton in there. Who, by the way, guys, I don't think he had a bad game. He didn't have a great game, but he had a rookie game.
His best game.
Yeah, a rookie good game. He applied pressure. He was in the spot a lot of the times, a step behind here and there, but that's being a rookie.
Yeah, guys, don't expect Taco to go out there and somehow look like DeMarcus Lawrence and, you know, from one day to the other or whatever. He's going to take time, but I will say, I think he did a great job, and the Cowboys were looking to see something from him. I hope they saw, I guess, what they were looking to see. I think I saw a solid performance by him.
Again, guys, nobody's going to cut him. He might be inactive, but again, I think he should be inactive next week, and we should activate Demontre Moore and Benson Mayowa. But I think Taco should be inactive. We will make him active once in a while throughout the season from here on out, my opinion. But I do think that he's someone that's more of a future prospect. Next year, I expect him to really take a bigger role on the starting team and on the rotation.
I agree.
Be every down player or almost every down player. But not this year, guys. So keep that in mind. Now, one last thing I want to talk about our defense. I think our defense is fantastic. Yes. As I said, you can watch our streams. We said it the whole week, I think, with Hitchens and Lee. And everybody kind of being healthy, except for Awuzie, with one was out. Our defense against an offense that is a rookie-led offense with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, Kyle Shanahan. So, guys, with all these things, there was no reason why we could not dominate on defense, and we did. The defense did a lot of things that really helped a lot of three and outs. Again, it's not going to happen like this against good teams, but our defense looked so much better than they ever have the entire year. Even against the Giants, we didn't look that good the way we looked against them.
Bradford, thanks for joining us. I don't know if I shouted you out yet. Lorraine Elliott, thanks for joining us.
Justin Johnson, what's up?
And by the way, that whole David Irving performance-enhancing drugs thing, I just want to clear up some confusion about that. He wasn't actually taking performance-enhancing drugs. He was taking a supplement that was. He was endorsing the supplement that I guess had some kind of ingredient that was on the NFL's
substance.
Substance list.
So that's why Irving lost out on that.
He was very open and honest and very clear about the whole situation.
Yeah, he said he didn't know about it. He tried to, he tried to appeal it, but they didn't buy it. Whether he's lying or not, either way, he won't make that mistake again. Hopefully.
Yeah, guys. So I just wanted to clear that up.
And I wanted to make sure I say, guys, one last thing. This is really important. Chidobe Awuzie, guys. The only report we heard from today, there was no practice. Garrett, all the people that basically, here's the word on Awuzie, who's the only one who really missed the game. So did Justin Durant. I expect him to be healthy this week at practice, and I mean, he might be an inactive or not. I don't know. Maybe will be inactive, but I think Durant he'll be okay for this week. He had what was it? He had a slight injury, so I don't know what it was. It was just minor. He was questionable. He just was inactive.
I don't think it was an ankle. But
might have been a hamstring. I don't know.
Either way, guys, we'll definitely keep you updated on that.
On Justin Durant. But more importantly, guys, our cornerback, Chidobe Awuzie, Chido, his hamstring, he's expected to be limited to start off the week of practice. So, guys, that means at least he will be at practice. Now, whether he will be a full participant, definitely not. Not in the beginning. Yeah. Whether he will be, more active throughout the week, I hope so. We hope that.
I agree.
If no setbacks, count on that. Count on Awuzie being there back in practice. But he's going to be at practice supposedly when they come back to practice. I don't think they practice tomorrow, but I think Wednesday, whichever day, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever they go back to practice, he's going to be limited, which is better than last week, which he was out. This week he'll be limited starting the week, and they'll work him towards being active, hopefully active for the game. So
yes, and 49ers are bad next week is a good test. Daniel 896, I agree. This game against the
Redskins.
The Redskins, there you go. It's going to be a big test, and not just because it's an NFC East team, and not just because it's the Redskins and all these things, but because the Redskins are a tougher team. We get to really test, play against a team that honestly knows us, can play us pretty well, guys. All these games, we usually don't see scores like 34-17 in these divisional games, and especially this NFC East. Again, these games have been crazy all across the board, guys. Oh, there's a flag. But, just letting you guys know, Washington is definitely a better team than the 49ers.
For sure. By far. Better defense, better offense. And
49ers beat the Redskins.
No, they didn't.
The refs gave them the win. That's what he's saying. So, I didn't watch that game. So it was close
the whole way through, but I do think that some has to do with not preparing for the quarterback for the Redskins, because he jumped into the game for Hoyer against the Redskins. But I also think, it's just different when you play someone in your division. And I don't know if I wouldn't say the Niners are better than the Redskins. The Redskins have a better offense. The Redskins have a better defense. But again, as we all been talking about all night, a million injuries today. Now 71, their best guy, their blindside guy, limping off the field for the Redskins, number 71. Number 75, Schrafe, is out of the game. He looks all right on the sideline. He's standing there.
Concerned,
but all these guys, just like the Niners were, they were all banged up, the Niners, on defense especially. The Redskins look banged up on offense, guys. Of course, on defense, they were already banged up. Josh Norman's banged up. He might not play.
Their banged up offense still got 17 points.
Against a good Philly defense.
So,
exactly.
So guys, that's what I'm trying to say. Definitely don't sleep on these.
But it was more during the game that they got banged up on offense. On defense, they were banged up for a while. Josh Norman is not playing. He might play, but he might not play. They say he might have had a chance to play this week. This would be a big gain because
but with the Cowboys game coming up this weekend, I can see why they maybe decided
to rest them on a short week,
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Both again divisional games.
Yeah, but both are, so he can't lose. But I guess he's not really ready to get out there. And even if he does come out there next week, guys, don't expect him to be like Josh Norman that we know. So he's gonna be slowed a little bit. Also, he should not be covering. I don't think he's gonna be covering Dez. I think some guy with a B name out there. He's gonna be covering. Bernard or Bertrand or something. I don't know what his name is. He's out there.
We'll definitely be taking a much closer look at the Redskins, especially after this game. Because
all these injuries changes everything. So that's a big deal.
DJ Crown J says Chido needs to rest 2 more weeks. Hammies are easily re-injured, and that's what we've seen.
He's had about 3 weeks rest though.
Yeah, but this is the second time he's re-injured that same hamstring.
I know. This is like the 3rd time he's injured it.
So Space Cowboy 17. I love how people are quick to flock Wentz for MVP. Dak's overrated.
Now
I want
to talk about Dak right now, guys. And Dak is putting in work. And let me just go through something real quick. First about Zeke. Real quick about Zeke. I want to get much props for what he did yesterday. He broke his best all-around game ever in his career was yesterday, guys. He had 219 total yards from scrimmage, means rushing and receiving. He had
broke his record from that Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh game was 209 yards, so he beat that by 10 yards. Even during that play where he did that screen that looked like Pittsburgh, I yelled it. You yelled. We all yelled. We were yelling. I was screaming it. That's like Pittsburgh. That's like Pittsburgh. And he was interviewed after the game. He said the first thing that came to his mind on that play was the Pittsburgh game. So we all. I think all Cowboy fans saw that too. As it was happening. Even little G when he saw it, he goes, "That's like Pittsburgh." So it's like. What a great play. What a great effort by Zeke. Great blocking. And what about that play? We noticed a very important factor about this play.
Go back and watch it. If you rewatch any of these plays in this game, watch that play.
First let me set it up. It was right before that, guys. It was 20-3. All right, we were winning. It was out of the half. The Niners were driving on us. Mm-hmm. Remember, without that DeMarcus Lawrence sack and fumble before the half, it could have been 20-10 at this point with the Niners driving to score a touchdown here, and they were in field goal range. They did not kick a field goal. It was 20-3. It was 4th and 2, and they went for it. Byron Jones. That was the drive, I think. That was the play that Byron Jones. 3 plays in a row. Watch those 3 plays of the Niners coming out of the half when they got stopped. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down. Byron Jones made huge plays, especially on 4th down. Great coverage by him to knock the ball away and have great defensive coverage on whoever they were trying to throw to. The next play, we came out with our 5 linemen. We had Witten, our 5 starters. We had Witten back there. We have Dak and Zeke. How much is that? 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. 3 more guys, 3 receivers. Who were they?
Noah Brown. Let me see. Bryce Butler. And Ryan Switzer. There we go, guys.
So
we had our backup receivers in. Right. And if you watch the play again, they really did think it was going to be a run. It was just very well executed by the Cowboys on every level.
The reason the Cowboys did that was Two reasons. Mainly, you want to establish that Switzer play across the field, which we do throughout.
Which they did a few times.
Right. We did it a couple times. Once he ran it for like 2 yards. He hadn't seen more than 2 yards from that
play. The point is they were changing it up, though, so they weren't 100% sure what was going on.
Well, the point is that's where we do that all the time. We do that at least 2 or 3 times a game, and usually don't give it to him. We'll give it to him once in a while to Switzer. But we also, the strange thing was we had Noah Brown and Bryce Butler, which means the defense was looking, it was first down, they're looking for the run.
Yeah.
So we had a run-stacked kind of offensive setting, a single back, but we had Witten as a blocker, and we had all 3 receivers. We had Switzer coming around. It was a fake to Zeke first, so a play action to Zeke. Then they faked it to Switzer coming around the edge, which froze the linebackers and all everybody to the basically, if you're looking at the Cowboys, everyone went to the left. And by this point, Zeke's coming out to the right, and we just dumped it off to him. We had Zach Martin. We had Jonathan Cooper. Zach Martin made a fantastic block. Cooper made a nice block, pushing 56 Reuben Foster out of the way down the field, which later on, Foster ended up knocking out his own guys on the play. And then Zeke made an unbelievable play just the rest of the way. Great blocking by Noah Brown.
Yeah, so
number 85, guys, baby
we're like,
Dez.
oh, wow, Dez did a great job.
Yeah,
and then I said,
Dez.
I don't think that's Dez. And we watched it again, and that's when we saw it was Noah Brown. So I'm so impressed by the way
Noah Brown and Bryce Butler, and our backup receivers. Okay, it reminded me of that stream I did last week.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Remind me of that stream when I actually had I'll put our backups in and try to see how we would do, and I'm telling you guys, it looked we put our backups in on purpose to fool the Niners on first down, giving a running single back run type look with 3 backup type receivers, and then we faked the run to Zeke, we faked the around to Switzer, and then threw the screen out to Zeke, setting up perfectly. A lot of misdirection. It worked perfectly. The offensive coordinator there, the offensive play there, the design. That's what I want to see from Scott Linehan. Not that kind of conservative but secure kind of play. We need more of that. Not all the time, not crazy. We established the run like we were supposed to do, guys, and that in the second half we lean on that to end the game. So just remember these things when you know that, again, the Jets had been number 1 this season, guys, this entire year. By the way, Redskins just scored a touchdown, Jordan Reed. So it's 24 to 31. Yeah, so again, still a chance. Still a chance. 3 minutes left, guys. No, I'm sorry. It's 34-24. So it's a 10-point game. Oh, okay, so but still, 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. There's still time to score twice. It's never over till it's over, guys. The Jets have been this year the highest rushing offensive team this season was the Jets against Jacksonville, who has a good defense. And the Jets got 256 rushing yards against Jacksonville. Well, with Zeke's great rushing game and Morris and Rod Smith, we got 265 rushing yards, and also Dak Prescott in there.
That's insane.
So we beat that by 9 yards, we became the best. He made it. Close, yeah. It's close to extra point, but 34-24, guys, with 3:17 left. It's going to come down to the end here, and the Redskins have all timeouts and a 2-minute warning. We'll see what happens.
Do you think should they onside kick here?
I would kick it off regular.
Right.
You have to get 2 scores, yeah. So yeah, guys. So
no, it's over.
So the Cowboys.
Yeah, Rack City.
It probably is over. But anyways, guys, yes, the Cowboys have 265 yards rushing. That's the most by any team this year in one game in rushing yards. Think about that, guys. So it's not just Zeke; it's the offensive line. And that's the key, guys. That seems to be gelling a lot better. Yes. We leaned on the run towards the end of that game and ended the game with the run. We need to get fancy, get throwing the ball and putting Dak in bad situations. And I want to talk about Dak, guys. This is the main thing, because everybody talks about Dak this, Dak that, not a game manager, this and that. Let me go through some stuff about Dak. Okay? Dak Prescott threw 3 touchdowns, okay, yesterday. That means he's got 3 consecutive games with 3 touchdowns in those games. Only Tony Romo, you guys remember him, right? You guys remember Don Meredith, our first quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys way back in 1960? No. So Don Meredith and Tony Romo are the only quarterbacks to ever do that. 3 touchdowns in 3 consecutive games. Not Troy Aikman, not Roger Staubach, not Danny White. None of these people, guys, never did this.
We got Donovan, what's his name? No, the first quarterback.
Oh, Don Meredith.
There you go. Yeah, Don Meredith, winless Romo, and now
yeah. And if you know, Meredith was a good quarterback. He was on Monday Night Football through the 70s and 80s. You guys probably remember him if you guys are old enough. But anyways, guys, he was the first Cowboys quarterback, and yes, he did 3 touchdown passes in 3 consecutive games. So did Tony Romo, but not anybody else. Now, guys, another big deal here. Listen, first off, you got to remember, even though they're throwing for so many, he's throwing so much, we don't want to rely on that. We just happen to set it up great because of the running game, guys. Because of the running game. So that Dak is more than halfway to his 2016 totals after 6 games. Not halfway, not 8 games, 6 games,
yeah.
and he's way past where he was last year, and as far as his stats are concerned.
Yeah, guys, remember, we are asking a few, I don't remember who it was. I think it was you, Space Cowboy 17.
Onside kick.
Yeah, there it is. So, yeah, you said, I feel Wentz is overrated to a T because his defense bails him out. I think that we put
Eagles got the onside kick.
Yeah, I think we put Dak in a lot of, bad situations for a quarterback. I think a lot of that, and that adds to some of the negative things that people just don't want to see how good he actually is, because the Cowboys are a run-heavy team. We like to run more. We have such a powerhouse like Zeke. But, and the
offensive line and the receivers.
Someone said in our chat, I think last week, saying, I kind of want to see Zeke suspended because I want to see Dak play without Zeke to shut the haters up.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to say, yes, I want to shut the haters up, I never want to be without Zeke. But, Dak is going to shut them up by continuing to play the way that we know he can play. He's, I love Dak, all right? That's why I got his jersey, guys.
Well, guys, I'm just looking here. The Redskins schedule, they have almost a fumble there, guys. That would have really turned the game.
Come on, Eagles.
They should call timeout now if I was Washington. Anyways, Redskins have the Cowboys. I think they have the Seahawks after that. They have the Saints, and they have the Vikings, guys. The Redskins have a tough schedule. The Eagles have the Niners, the Broncos at home. In Philly. Then they go to Dallas, and then they're home against the Bears. So they get home against the Niners, home against the Broncos, at Dallas, and home against the Bears. So they have an easy schedule except for us. So, guys, they're going to – where are they now? 6 wins now? They're going to have 9 wins probably. If we can beat them. If they beat us, they'll have 10 wins. But they could have possibly 9 wins even after we beat them. So we might be looking at wild card time, guys. Because the Eagles are beat Carolina, they beat Washington, and they're beating Washington. It's not over yet. But back to Dak though, guys. Regardless of all this stuff, he's again over halfway in 6 games to the stats he was at last year. So we're hoping he doesn't have oh my goodness, Blunt just got a 20-yard run. We don't want him to rely on passing, which we have done the first couple of games because we put ourselves in bad situations because of the coaching calls and the offensive coordinator Scott Lineham's bad calls for the most part. But it's good stats, and it's backing up that no sophomore slump for Dak, guys. So nothing like that. Another thing about Dak.
Definitely a rough start, but I think that goes for the entire Cowboys team as a whole. I don't think it was just a Dak thing.
Exactly. Definitely not. It's an offensive coordinator / offensive / slash a team effort of kind of being disappointed. I think also the thing of hanging over Zeke obviously hurts, but it's not just that. It's all these things like you said.
I agree, but again, coming off of such a great season last year, having, some new... a very much younger team this year than last year. So, but anyway, guys.
Bleed green. I cannot wait till we play you guys. That's going to be the game you guys lose. So keep that in mind. You got 3 out of 4 games, pretty easy. Denver is not going to be easy, but it's in your home stadium, so it's going to be a lot easier. But the other games, the Niners, you should win. And who was the Bears? You guys, you never know. But you guys are both home for those. You guys should win those 3 games. That's 9 wins for you guys. But then there's our game. And if you beat us, you might clinch the division on that game. Remember that too. That could be a big game for the Eagles, but that's in our house. We have to win it with or without Zeke. I don't care. Right. We got to win that game. That's like a playoff game for us in a way. Now, guys, just to wrap up the Dak Prescott thing, he's currently on pace to throw for 3,800 yards, almost 4,000. That's fantastic. Crazy. 37 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And also run for 405 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. So
you really can't ask for more than that, guys. Dak is putting in the work.
Dak is putting in all the work, guys. And again, when Zeke's gone, we're going to need him to do these things. Not necessarily, we need him to do it consistently when called upon, but not consistently throughout the game. Because I want to rely on the running game still against the Eagles, against the Chiefs, against the Falcons, whoever we play, against the Redskins this week. Well, we got Zeke this week against him. And guys, one more last thing about Dak: games with 3 or more passing touchdowns in a career as a Dallas Cowboy. Okay, Tony Romo has 43 touchdown passing games, 40 of them. Danny White's next with 20.
That's a big.
Danny White, the one I grew up on, the quarterback at number 11, he had 20. He was the leader for 30 years until Romo came around, and now he doubled him by 40. Doubled him by 20, so he's at 40. Romo's at 40. Danny White's at 20. Roger's a Dodger. 3 touchdowns in a game, 17 times. That's it. Not that much.
Yeah. Then we have Meredith.
Don Meredith, guys, 14 times. He had 3. He had touchdowns of 3 passing touchdowns in a game.
Yeah.
Then Troy Aikman, the greatest in our Cowboy history, I say. Troy Aikman, he had 10 3-touchdown games, and then Sixth place, Dak Prescott, guys, 7.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky
so
number
far.
7. So he has 7. So guys, he's 10 behind Roger Staubach. Dak Prescott in a year and a half, not even a year and a half of NFL games, he's already 10 behind Roger Staubach, and a lot of these came from, you know, of course, 3 of them came this year. That means the other ones came last year. So, you know, he's doing this consistently. He's going to break all these records, maybe except for Romo. He's going to pass Staubach. He's going to pass Danny White, who's only 3 ahead of him. He'll have a lot of 3-touchdown games in his career.
Future for
very bright for Dak.
Dakota Prescott.
Yes, very bright. I didn't even get my sunglasses for him, guys. So that's all our news that we got. That's it.
I like your comment.
That's all the news we have. That's it. It just took 2 hours to say.
He said, someone said the Eagles are real America's team. They aren't even Pennsylvania's team. Yeah, guys.
That's true.
I'm from
Pittsburgh
Pennsylvania. I can confirm. Boo. Eagles.
Nobody likes the Eagles, not even in Philly, not even in Pennsylvania.
And the ones who do like the Eagles, I can also confirm they were all dropped on their head as children. So.
I heard the Eagles were cheering with some of the Redskins' injuries. If you remember back when Michael Irving got injured and was knocked unconscious on the field against Philly, the Eagles were cheering. Very bad fan base, and I'm not saying it's you, Bleed Green, or Eagle fan, or Hollyway. No. I know a lot of you guys are good and you are true fans. That's why you're on this page. But again, you know, cheering for, and I know you guys remember. I'm sure if you guys are old enough, you guys remember the Eagles. They cheered for injuries sometimes at the stadium. The drunk fans. I don't care. It makes all the fans look bad in Philly, and they'll always have that label of being.
I'd be very embarrassed if Cowboy fans were doing the same.
I would be. I would be so upset.
I'm sure it happens. I'm sure it happens, and that goes for every team. But it shouldn't happen to any team. You know, at the end of the day, you don't know if next year that injured player right there could be you. You know, not you, but it could be your player or it could be your team. And if that happened to you the other way around, forget it. You know, we've seen fights happen for less things, guys.
So I'm going to say some things here, guys. Through 7 weeks now, after this game is over here in 2 minutes, which is a big play to really end the game. Okay, it's still not down. Blunt's down now. So they'll have to either kick a field goal, and the Redskins have to score twice, but in between they get an onside kick. But let me say something, guys. Through 7 weeks, Carson Wentz has to be the favorite. He's one of the favorites for the MVP. I would say, you know, Tom Brady's probably the best quarterback, but I think this year, again, I don't know if I put Wentz up there, but you got to consider him. And that's coming from a Cowboy fan. So Bleed Green, all you Eagle fans.
Major props.
Much props for that.
Sophomore year in the league, and for him to be in MVP talks.
I mean, we know the feeling, guys, because last year during the rookie years for both Zeke and Dak, they were the only MVP talks for rookies, and they were both rookies. I'm talking about as far as rookies. Nobody's ever become 2 guys on the same team being MVP talk, and they're both rookies at very important positions. So again, even though Matt Ryan won it last year. You know, Dak could have won it, Zeke could have won it, and they were rookies too. So Wentz in his second year, he's a 45-yard attempt, and
it looks good.
No good. He couldn't pull it. He couldn't do a Jeff Heath, guys.
He couldn't do a Heath, guys. So Stronger King, thanks for joining us.
What's up, bro? How you doing? You better beat these other teams in the East for us this year.
Yeah. So in Beast Mode Gamer, much respect. Even if you're a Giants fan, again, loyalty to your team, win, lose, or die.
For sure.
It doesn't matter, guys.
And that's what we want here. We want diehards, guys.
We don't want anyone to die.
If we're 3-13 this year, at the end of the year, we won't. But if we are, guess who's going to still be here doing these videos, watching the games, screaming and yelling, whatever.
Maybe a lot sadder.
Yeah, a lot more sad, a lot less intensity.
More depressed.
But still be here, guys. We're Cowboy fans. I've been here in 88 with 3-13, and 89, 1-15, and so on, guys. So you never losing me as a Cowboy fan. And you Eagle fans better stay on there. If you guys blow the season somehow, don't jump ship. Be a true fan. Let's see here. Redskins have the ball now. And they got sacked. Kirk Cousins. Guys, I'm telling you right now, that Eagles defense looks good. And also, they're sacking them from the side where they have injuries, which I want to talk about right now, guys. Right now, the Philly front seven is going to give our offensive line a bit of trouble. And you can see it happening here, but I think a lot of it has to do with the injuries for the Redskins. We're going to be fully healthy, hopefully. So I don't think they're going to give us as much problems, the Eagle front line, as much problems as they're giving the Redskins, but they give everybody problems.
But again, if the Redskins can still score 24 points, even with all
there's some weaknesses we can attack
the Eagles defensively are a team to watch out for, but if you can put up 24 points against them, and that's Kirk Cousins with that offense, our offense not only is better,
and we'll be at home, so hopefully that's going to help.
But we should, if we don't,
we should hang in there with the Eagles.
The problem is with us and not with somehow the Redskins being this great, amazing team.
Thank you, Space Cowboy. Whoever said that is completely wrong. But I will say this now. Speaking of the Redskins DC team, nothing close to America's team. This is happening right now, guys. Trent Williams, he's the left tackle. He's the blind side guy. He's basically the Tyron Smith for the Redskins. He's dealing with a major injury right now. They don't know if he's going to be all right for next week. Brandon Schreff, who's the left guard, I think, or the right guard, whatever. He's a guard. He's dealing with that injury. You saw him limping off the field. He had to be helped off the field.
71, right?
And Morgan Moses, guys, another guy on their line. All three guys are banged up. Not a good sign. And that's why you're seeing the Eagles really take advantage towards the end of this game. It was close. It was 10-10. It was 17-10. It was, it was 24-17, but they just can't.
They kept pounding.
Yeah, but what do you mean now?
Like they kept pounding it. Like they kept going. They didn't just let up and play easy.
No. What are you talking about?
The Eagles now in this game.
No, that's not what I meant, baby. I'm sorry.
I know, just the way you were talking. I'm like, well, I will. The Eagles definitely didn't give up at the end of the game.
I'm not talking about the Eagles. I'm talking about the Redskins. I'm saying the Eagles.
I know, but you said. I know what you said.
I'll clarify it for the people who did not understand what I said.
Like me.
Yeah, like you. And if I said the Eagles, I was wrung, guys. I mean the Redskins. The point is that the Redskins the Eagles and Redskin game was close the whole way. Okay, until the fourth quarter, really. And I'm just saying it was 24-17 Eagles, and the Redskins already started getting their line depleted. So by the time we got to the end of the third and into the fourth quarter, they lost all three guys in the second half. So guys, the Eagles got better as the game went on, and I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles, but their defensive front got better because the Redskins' offensive line were injured, and so that definitely hurt the Redskins. Of course, they'll have more time to practice for that, to get ready for that, to get guys, gelling with each other for this week as they prepare for the Cowboys. For any of the Redskin linemen that don't make it,
yeah, they're still going to be hurting though.
But exactly like Reuben Foster, number 56, the Niners linebacker, he's their best defensive player. He played, but he wasn't 100%, and you can see it. Other than that front hit that he did on Zeke, that one big hit he put on Zeke, that was just a straight up hit. That wasn't a big deal. It's when he has to cut is where he was a second short, and on that big run, that big screen pass to Zeke, he couldn't get out there, guys. There was too many. If he was his normal self, I think he could have done it, Reuben Foster, but he was not, and he could not catch up. Of course, it's Zeke too, but he couldn't keep up. He was out of position, and again, that's going to happen to a lot of these Redskin linemen, even if they play against us next week in 6 days. They might be a little split second off, and that's going to give chances for DeMarcus Lawrence, for David Irving, for whoever's playing the other side right now, Tyrone Crawford.
That's right. For
Taco when he comes in, or Benson Mayowa, or DeMontre Moore, whoever else comes in, guys, we're going to have, an opportunity to really take advantage of this Redskins offensive line, whether they're backups or they're injured starters. So keep that in mind. We don't want injuries, but this is a fact. So they're injured. We got to take advantage of that. And I hope the Cowboys start game planning right now. And hopefully they've already started yesterday night or today during this game. The game was over. Exactly. They already got their stuff together, hopefully. I wouldn't put it on this Cowboys staff to do that because, unfortunately, they don't seem to be the best coaches that are around. But I do see them, they better be ready for this game, especially this might be our last game with Zeke. So we got to get ready to go on. We got to win this game against the Redskins. This game against the Niners was a must-win because just to stay in the running. Now it's come about the division and wild card possibilities where we got to beat the division games. We got to win the division games. We got to beat these Redskins. We got to beat the Eagles in a couple of weeks after that. And guys, and again, I don't really I'm not looking at the Chiefs game or the Falcons game, and not because they're not important. They are important. It'd be great to get wins out of those. And we need to get wins if we want to have a chance for a wild card. At least in one of those two games, we need to split the Falcons and the Chiefs.
I agree.
But we need to win the Redskins, and we need to win the Eagles. If we can do that and go 3-1 in the next 4 games, that'd be what, 7-4? And the Eagles could be 9 wins. So that's 2 games back.
Yeah.
And we have one more game against the Eagles. They falter. They have a tough schedule after these 4 games. They have a tough schedule, the Eagles. And, ours doesn't get easier either. We have a tough schedule as well. So if we can but we also play the Eagles. So technically, we be out by 1 game. So if they can falter once and we can keep riding hard and keep winning, there's a chance we can still take the division. But guys, the Eagles are going to make it real difficult. They're doing fantastic this year. You got to give them all the credit. And if they win the division, much deserved. They're running away with it right now, but the season is far from over, guys. Don't book your Super Bowl trophies yet. We're not even
halfway through the season yet, technically. We're still only week 7.
Yeah.
We got lots of time, but,
Yeah, and as Space Cowboy said, we said earlier, Lee got a quad injury. He was bouncing around a little hurt. He came back in the game.
Hit the quad.
Hit the quad.
You know the song.
Yeah. Yes, I also know other things about. Well, anyways, the thing is though, guys, that he's going to be fine. He's going to play against the Redskins 100%. No setbacks from any of these guys at practice. No injuries at practice. Everyone's playing. The only one that's up in the air right now that's possible is Awuzie. But again, like I said earlier, Awuzie is expected to be limited at practice to start off. So it's not just he's going to be out to start off like last week, and 2 weeks already he's been out. He hasn't practiced at all. This week he's going to be limited, and they're going to see where he is from there.
Exactly. So, and Holloway, if you want to say talk
what's up, Holloway?
Yeah, 6'1" is better than 3'3", but 5 rings is better than 0. Got you there.
And again, guys, don't start booking your home field advantage. Don't
buy those Super Bowl tickets yet.
Don't buy your first round buys. We know from last year we suffered that consequence in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. And Giants fans, let us know how you're feeling after last year too. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah,
nothing is over till it's over.
Exactly, guys. And not only that, nothing is secured, guys. I mean, no matter how good the Giants played last year, they got knocked out by the Packers. They knocked us out, the Packers. We were the number one seeded team, young, inexperienced, but still no excuses. And we almost won that game on the arm of Dak.
Yes.
So not on the legs or the running of Zeke or the offensive line. So keep a lot of things in perspective, guys, when it comes to everything that's going on. Yes, Eagles, much respect. Good job in doing what you did and where you're at now.
Yeah.
Even if you guys beat us this year and have a better season than us, that's great for you guys. But again, I did not see you guys going to the Super Bowl. You're still young. You'll see. The same thing's going to happen to you guys that happened to us, in the sense that there's going to be a point where there'll be a breakdown here and there, and all Eagle fans are going to start jumping ship and yelling and screaming. You can't do that, guys. You got to ride with your team to the end, win, lose, or draw, and like we do, and we will, no matter what. And again, maybe we'll see you guys in the playoffs. Maybe we'll see you in Philly. Maybe we'll go and drive to Philly for that game if we go to the playoffs and play you guys to cheer our team in for a victory.
Yeah, so now DJ Crown J wants to know, can Rico practice next week? I
okay.
think he's eligible to come back next week.
Rico was eligible last week. That's why everybody was getting confused that, he's eligible to practice. That means he's practicing. Mark Holmes reported he's practicing. Incorrect, guys. He's not practicing. 0 practice for a concussed still. I don't know if he's in the concussion protocol, but Rico gathers he's still experiencing issues from that. Or they're just saying he is. Either way, he has not come back to practice. Maybe, I don't know if he's not back at practice already. If he's not back this week. Again, remember, it takes reps, so you don't want to use up reps of somebody you're not going to really even have active or have playing.
Yeah, you don't expect to see him back until he's ready to be back.
I do think that they do have 21 days after the last day of the 8 weeks for him to make a decision whether he has to stay on IR or not. So that might be an option. We have a little 3-week buffer there. So even though it goes 8 weeks, there might be another 3 weeks, and then he'll have to either be on the field or he's out for the rest of the year. But as of right now, he's eligible to practice. He was eligible last week to practice, but he has not done any practicing at all as of right now, guys. So maybe it's better to not rush him. Again, I've heard things where if it depends if the season's already kind of over, they might put him in to kind of get him ready for next year.
Yeah.
That's another possibility.
So, and I do agree that's definitely not a good sign. Obviously, that concussion was...
long ways away before we have to worry about our season being over yet, though.
Yeah, so, and again, Holloway, I'm going to give you
sign,
credit.
Though. You're
Your
right.
Eagles are doing good so far, but like we saw last year, our team did not just good, they did great. They did amazing all year. In the league. And then they blew it in the one game. They didn't need to blow it in. And it wasn't even like they played bad. We started off bad, and our offense came back and... Just saying, guys.
And even though our team was generally inexperienced on offense and on defense, it was, our weak link was the defense. You guys are not an all-around perfect team yet. You guys are experiencing, this Peters injury is going to be big for you guys. That's one of the things I did in my preseason recaps. And so when I looked at this, their depth.
They got through the rest of the game all right, but long term.
Their depth on their line is where their weakness is at. Their depth. Not their line, but their depth. So now that Peters, their best lineman, is gone, 9-time Pro Bowler.
Who comes in and replaces him?
I mean, he's gone. He's number 50-71 right there on his. I mean, guys, he's so big. He's such a big part of your guys' team. It will have repercussions, guarantee you.
Again, it's like if we lose Tyron Smith and put in Chaz Green.
We're definitely a downgrade.
It's a downgrade.
Huge
Chaz
downgrade.
Green can do it, but he will never be
able
to do it like Tyron Smith.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys, they got through it this game, but as teams start to game plan on, if Peters is out for a while, if they game plan on that left tackle spot, you're going to see the best rushers coming in every game the Eagles play from that side, going for the weak spot. And on top of that, guys, Wentz is not going to have as much time as he's had. He's not going to have a lot of time to just look for someone. He's going to have to scramble and get lucky like he did in this game and scrambled out he made a great play a couple times to really keep drives going and doing things. And again, he's going to do that often this year like Dak did last year, but he's not going to do it all the time. So just prepare yourselves, guys. Just prepare
Cowboys
yourselves.
abroad, I hope so. Stronger King, I'm actually really excited for that Seattle game. I don't know if you heard, but I do predict that that's going to be one of the games the Cowboys actually win.
Their offense is definitely weaker,
but
their defense is so good.
Look, their defense is great, and I'm not denying that. But I think that as long as our offense can kind of keep up the momentum and stay on top of it, and again control the game. I think against that offense, our defense can definitely hold it down, and I think our offense against that defense can outscore.
We have 2 months right
Seattle.
now.
I think that's the point. I think that we can outscore them.
2 months, we might be over by then, though.
Good point.
It might not make a
Both
difference.
teams will be broken and shattered.
No,
and who knows?
Seahawks won't be. Seahawks are in good shape. They got.
Look, every team's in good shape. We're all one injury away from ending the season.
But
they're
off. I think the Seattle offense is the problem for them. Now, Holly, wait, one last thing I'm going to say. Nobody's talking trash. We gave you credit, but we're talking truth. And what I'm trying to say is that you are 6-1. If you didn't hear me say it, but when they showed the schedule, you guys are going to win the next 2 games. You're at home against subpar competition. 2 teams that are not that great, and even though we lost to the Broncos, it was in Denver. If you guys were playing in Denver, you guys would lose. That'd be my prediction. But in Philly, you guys got it once, so don't worry. You guys will be 8-1. You guys lose to us 8-2. And then you'll win the next game. I think you guys play the Bears. You might win that game, but you're at home. But they're at home. The Bears at home are much better.
Right,
but the Bears on the road against Philly, especially Philly's going to be upset after coming off losing to us. So
they have something to prove.
So you guys will be probably, I'm going to predict you guys will be 9-2 by the time the next 4 games are over with, guys. So again, 9-2. We'll be at best. We'll be what? I guess we'll be 1 game back on you at best. But I think we'll be 2 games back on you guys. But we'll beat you in that Philly game. That's my prediction. And on that, it's all prediction. I'm not going to talk about opinion in that. We're going to drop that for now. Congratulations so far to having a 6-1 record almost halfway through the season. You still forget about the second season, which is the playoffs. But you got to get there first, so you're doing a great job so far. Not even halfway through the season. You still got a little more than half a season to go still to see what you got. But you're looking good, so congrats.
Yeah, and about this point of the season, again, Cowboys are 3-3, guys. We kind of talked about everything. We
want 6.
Just join us.
The Eagles want 1.
So, all right. And then I still call them the San Diego Chargers sometimes. It's going to be a while before I still call them the St. Louis Rams. I called them St. Louis Rams the other day, guys, and they've been the LA Rams for going on 2 years.
Just say St. Louis Cardinals, because I remember those days.
Yeah, no, those even I don't remember. So there you go. And, quick funny joke, guys. Before I really knew much about football, I thought that the Washington Redskins were actually from Washington, the state.
The Seattle Redskins.
I was very confused as to why Washington had 2 teams, one in Seattle and one just the Washington Redskins.
The Washington State Redskins.
There you go, guys. Just kind of a little funny thing to wrap it up with some.
You can see what I was starting with. You can see what I was starting with here, guys, and look where she's at now.
And I'm not joking, guys. That's really. Just earlier in the stream, I still said lineman instead of linebacker. Or
and
both
are big. Yeah, exactly. You just said it today.
That's what I said. Just in this stream.
Yeah, we were talking about our defensive lineman.
Same thing.
We were talking about defensive lineman, and she called Sean Lee a lineman. So she's a linebacker. That means a backer. So someone who's back of the line. Anyways, still got to practice with her a little bit.
How do I plan on stopping Wentz? I'm gonna run down onto the field and tackle him myself. That's how I'm.
Guys, we attack where Jason Peters' injury is at. We attack on that side now, on his blind side. That's the first step off the cuff, guys. We still got 3 weeks before we got to worry about you guys.
Cowboys.
We are worrying about the Redskins now. So look, Cowboys Abroad, I agree. Our 2 contributors, guys. By the way, we do take donations. Whether you watch the ads or click on the ads, that helps us getting income through this site, which we're not doing it for that reason, but it adds to being able to better the site, better this channel. So if you do that, that's fantastic. Your content in here is fantastic, all of you guys. But DJ Crown J and Cowboys Abroad, they both went to our Patreon site and they contributed, donated money. Thank you so much, guys.
We're able to get the second microphone because of them, guys. And again, any money that is donated does go directly to helping the stream a better place. We are planning on going to the Pro Bowl.
We're going to have better cameras. We're going to have shirts. We're going to have different things that we're planning in the future, guys. We don't want to talk too much about it, but we have some stuff that's going to come out there depending on how.
Like 1,000 subscribers first, guys. It's thanks to you guys. We are less than 250 away.
Yes, thank you all for jumping on board, guys. We're started from 9 and 4 months, guys.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Sorry, I had to throw that in there, guys.
Yeah, but the reason I'm bringing them up is not because of their contributions, but I'm also saying about their 10-6 record. This is kind of, I say 11-5 or 10-6, what I thought would be a bad year for the Cowboys, 10-6. That's looking like it would be a good year for us now. So,
and again, with everything, we still have to remember that 10-6 is still not maybe where we want it to be, but I think still realistically, with everything else going on, controversy, all this other stuff, and not bad. The number one thing, though, guys, at the end of the day, I don't care what the heck our record is. If we make it to the Super Bowl and win, and Cowboys Abroad,
playoffs. Let's make it to the playoffs first.
Yeah, that's how you get to the Super Bowl. But Cowboys Abroad, I completely forgot about that Jalen Smith sack. But yes,
and again, that's what I was saying earlier, guys. Where I think that everyone wants to get Jalen Smith out there. No, and then now when he started doing bad, get him out of there. We need Jalen Smith in there. We need him in there to spell Hitchens and Lee. You saw it yesterday, guys. When it was Hitchens and Lee was out, Jalen Smith was the other guy. When it was Lee in the game and Hitchens was out, then Jalen Smith was in the game, and that was mainly in the second half. We did throw him in there a little bit in the first half, but mainly second half we used a lot more Jalen Smith. He had about, what, 15, 20 snaps. He had that huge sack, guys. And remember, he's playing spot play, spot duty. So when he comes in there, he's ready to roll. He's played 5 or 6 snaps. And the offensive line of the Niners, and the running back of the Niners, and the quarterback and the receivers, they're all just a step slower now late in the third quarter. Jalen Smith shoots in there, guys. It's full speed, almost like, it's just starting the game for him. And that's the key. That's what the Cowboys defense, Marinelli, wanted to do with him from the start of the season. You know why it hasn't happened? Because we had Hitchens injured for 4 weeks. And then right after that, we had, the same week we had Hitchens and Lee out against the Rams, and then Lee was out against the Packers.
Exactly,
so we never had both of them on the field at the same time. They're both on the field at the same time. Now he gives Jalen Smith the specialty duties, which we want to see him take from Justin Durant and eventually mold into a starter.
DJ Crown J, exactly. Less snaps, better Jalen Smith.
Exactly. Quality, not quantity.
Eventually he'll get to that level. I truly
not
believe
this year.
it, but not this year, guys. And
he's like Taco. We got a couple years still.
And we still don't know to what aspect his injury is holding him back. We know that nerve is pretty much almost done regenerating. But even until it is, I know I can't remember who it was in our chat that talked about his own experience with drop foot and how it took a while to just, even as a non-athlete to kind of get back to, using that foot the right way again. So Jalen Smith not only needs practice learning how to physically get himself back into the game, but he needs actual practice getting into the game because he basically is a rookie. So guys, Jalen Smith only has up to go from here.
Yeah, for
Less
sure.
play time for him is a great thing, not just for him, but for the Cowboys
and
overall.
Brian Bradford, yes, I agree with blitzing Jalen Smith. And I don't know about all the time, but I do think that out of all our guys, out of all our linebackers to blitz, he's the one. He's the fastest. So he's got the most acceleration, that juice, that burst.
He kind of gets that same move.
He can slide through there.
Kind of like Rod Smith in a way, I gotta say, where he kind of
They're brothers.
makes this move. Exactly, but that's why I say
I know.
to see
Exactly.
Rod Smith run reminds me.
Hold on a second.
I do see a little bit of Jalen Smith there in him because the moves he makes, I like the way he moves almost with the other players on the field. So Jalen Smith, I think, just has a great sense of flow and the way that the players are moving around him. And again, it's very similar to a running back that needs to find that open hole. Jalen Smith needs to find that open hole and get a feel for how the linemen are moving to try to get that break in there.
Right, and see where the running back is at, which side he's blocking on.
So look, all those things together.
It worked out. That great play by Jalen Smith, definitely his play of the year so far in the games.
Very impressed. And we said it, guys. We're going to see more quality play from him.
We've been saying that this whole week. We've been saying it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So. And that's what we need to see from Jalen Smith. I love what we've seen from our defense, guys. I know it's a subpar offense, but nonetheless, Jordan Lewis, who I believe is our best corner, probably had the worst game out of all our cornerbacks.
Yeah. And let's keep in mind that
thank you, Byron Jones, for keeping us together.
Yeah, but all this subpar, they're a subpar team. They played subpar. Guys, remember, other teams, only beat them by 3 points. It's not like, this is the first blowout they've had, and we were the ones to give it to them. I know they were injured and all these other things, but, the Niners are definitely 0-7, but they're not as sucky as their record makes them out to be.
Yeah, so. Mr. Wright, good point. That would be nice to see Taco get a sack by week 9 or 10. I think that's a great prediction for you.
Him get a sack at least this year, at least once.
I'm
aiming low for him just because in general he needs to get there, and then from there I can raise my.
How about them Cowboys? Yes, I know you said it earlier to me on another stream. Yes, kick for us. If you get your butt out on the field and kick some field goals, get out there. Come on, they're ready to do it. They're gonna pick someone tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, guys, and
get out there and kick. I want to see how about them Cowboys out there kicking field goals for us.
Yeah, but guys, as far as shirts, those definitely aren't coming. Yes, those aren't coming anytime soon. They, we will eventually do them. It's something we'd like to do.
Baby steps. That's why when you help with donations through Patreon account, we got a mic. We upgraded our camera. We're gonna get better background probably.
You guys can see how you guys are directly helping us make this channel better.
And by honestly, by the Pro Bowl, this is what we were talking about. By the Pro Bowl, we wanted to kind of introduce our merchandise, if you want to call it that. I don't want to call it. I hate calling it merchandise. It's more just like a cool shirt. I think it'll look nice. We have a couple ideas like MCF.
Yeah, can someone explain this dilly dilly thing? By the way, I keep what is
that's
that?
A commercial. That's a commercial with those
what commercial?
The beer commercial. I'll show it to you later.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. I heard it so many times the other day. It gets into my head. I want to break that. She'll know as soon as I say it because it looks like Game of Thrones. It's at a Game of Thrones setting.
So, and Brian Bradford, how did Skendrick play? Skendrick played average. He played all right.
I think he did.
Nothing spectacular from him, but no major mess ups.
I think well, again, and that means he did good. Right. I think he played well yesterday. Again, he played better than Jordan Lewis yesterday. Xavier Woods played very well at safety for Heath. Again, our worst defensive cover guy yesterday was Jordan Lewis. But even him having a bad game, he did not expose us enough, did not cost us enough to really have a difference. I'm not saying we want to see that from him, but again, I love the fact that he had his growing pains in this game when we didn't need him to have the best game like he has the last couple of weeks. So it's just kind of time-wise, it felt great. No, he shouldn't have a game like this again. But again, it's just he knows he didn't do as much as he should, and he is, even though they won by 40 to 10, they won by 30. He still wants to improve himself, and he said that on his Twitter today.
And if you ever want a rookie or literally any player to have a bad game, you want it to be a game where you win 40-10, or a game where you have everyone else come up and make up for that.
Yeah, and DJ Crown, J. Anthony Brown, I do think he's the one that's going to be the biggest sophomore slump, but I think he's not really having a complete slump.
Well, he had an interception. I know it was a flag.
But no, I'm saying my point is with Anthony Brown is that he's like slump and he has a good game. He slumps and he's like average game. And then he slumps not that bad, but then he has a really good game. Then he slumps really bad. So he's up and down. Too inconsistent right now this year. Last year, from the middle of the season and on, we really became a full-time starter. He was
consistently well.
He was the best. Well. He allowed the least amount of yards on his receiver throughout the second half of the year last year. So he's still going to go to that sophomore slump, yes, like this year. But I do think that he'll get better as the years go on. This season could be tough for him. He's going to have some off games. He's going to have some good games. I don't think he was that bad yesterday either, guys. I think he was not off. He did miss a play or two. They all did. But out of Byron Jones, out of
Jordan
Lewis,
allowed 10 points.
Out of Jordan Lewis, and out of Skandrick, and out of all the guys we just mentioned, the safeties, even Jeff Heath, and Byron Jones, and Xavier Woods, and all these guys. The worst game was Jordan Lewis, and it wasn't that horrible.
I think it wasn't
that much of an eyesore.
I think Jordan Lewis personally feels like he had his worst game, but I still think that the player who performed the worst defensively, and I hate to say it because he actually did something so great this game, but Jeff Heath, again, if I go back, I know for a fact that he definitely let a few bigger ones go. And I think overall, if you had to pick one player, I would say Jeff Heath probably personally performed the worst defensively. But again, Jeff Heath didn't cost us. Again, we only allowed 10 points. I feel bad saying it.
But again, I'm gonna say he gave us 2 points. So really, good job by Heath giving us. Really only allowing with his defense, only allowing 8 points.
Yeah, including so Brian Bradford, it seems like all the Cowboys players we let go are performing very well, but I think that that's a combination of things. But guys, we've been streaming here for about an hour and a half. We got to see the end of this Redskin-Eagles game. Obviously, I hope, most of us are rooting for the Redskins. Obviously, Eagles,
not the Eagle fans
again, major props. Can't wait to fry up some birds another time. But this weekend, we got some...
I don't know how to say that without being offensive.
Yeah,
that's the team name.
Redskins to beat.
We got the skins. We got to skin the skins, guys, and it's important that we're gonna go more in depth about the Redskins as we go on through the week. Obviously, tomorrow we're gonna talk about the kicker because we're gonna be picking up a kicker tomorrow, guys. So that's definite. Who we're cutting for that kicker? These are the big things for tomorrow. So keep your notifications on, guys, because Fiance here is going to probably break some of that news.
Guys, so
the kicker and who we're cutting for the kicker. And also, guys, on Wednesday, Little J my daughter is going to play her Week 2 game in our Madden League, our franchise redraft league. If you want to join that, there's my gamer tag is at the bottom. It's purple_football7.
That's
Send me your gamer tag or get a friend request, and I will invite you into the league. There's still about 16, 14, 15, 16 teams left to pick from, so you can join that. But it's been drafted already, guys.
Yeah, Sixers JT, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, man? Congratulations on your Eagles victory. All the Eagle fans, I'm going to say it now. Congratulations.
You better like this stream.
Congratulations on your Eagles, but I'm gonna be honest. If I was a Cowboy, if last year when we were 6-1, I said the same thing. Let's calm the heck down. Calm down, Eagle fans, because it's far from over. I know you don't have somebody on your tail like we had with the Giants last year, but that's what kept us on our game. You guys got an easy schedule coming up, other than us. You have 3 out of 4 games you guys should win, and then you have our game, which we're going to win, I think. But we got to wait for that one. That's still 3 weeks away. Right now, Cowboys are ready for the Redskins, and that's what we care about. Another NFC East divisional rival. Big game for us to really make that step now with the Redskins 3-3, and we're 3-3. We got to beat the Redskins to get into second place, and then also look at the wild cards. Hope everybody see, the higher ranked teams, the higher record teams start losing, so we can then jump up on the wild card race if needed. And, getting those playoffs, I would love nothing better than to play the Eagles in the first round somehow.
Oh, that would be exciting.
Love nothing better than that.
Dangerous but exciting, guys. It's never, those divisional teams in the playoffs, it can be very painful.
For sure, but right now I'll just be happy to make the playoffs at this point.
One step at a time.
And exactly. We don't even know what's going on. We don't even know what's going on with Zeke next week, guys. It's a week-by-week deal with Zeke. We came in
like day by day when it comes to the Cowboys.
Honestly, it doesn't feel for the Cowboy fans out there. It doesn't feel like the season has really started because we got to wait for Zeke. What's going on with Zeke? And it's not. I don't blame Zeke at all, guys. I blame the NFL. And again, I don't blame it at all. I know some of us here, some of the Cowboy fans, we feel frustrated that we have to have this hanging over the Cowboys' head for this season. But you know what? For Zeke, he's doing the right thing for Zeke. And that's all that matters right now when it comes to that specific situation. As Cowboy fans, let's get it over with. Could have been done already. Could have been that. Could have had the whole season in front of us with nothing to worry about and nothing hanging over our heads. That's the great way of looking at it. But then you still have Zeke labeled as a woman beater. And if he never challenged this in the first place, he would be labeled a lot worse than, as a woman beater by more people. That has broken away. It's been chipped away at. And the truth is coming out. The NFL keeps losing after these things week after week. They keep losing these appeals. They get lucky because the way it was done was incorrectly. It was almost done on purpose incorrectly.
The NFL really did it to themselves. Had they done things a little differently, we would have already seen Zeke suspended, come back, and he would be playing. Actually, this would have been his first game back.
Correct. Right? Yeah. I mean,
so that, just saying, guys. Had things gone another way, but honestly, after all this stuff, guys. Win, lose, or die, or draw, tie.
Win, lose, or draw.
Here we go. Win, lose, or tie. Cowboys.
Draw is the same thing, guys.
Yeah, the tie sounds better. So I keep saying die. No one needs to die. But, guys, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. For all you diehard Cowboy fans out there as well, hope you enjoyed our stream, our updates today. For all you non-Cowboy fans, thanks for watching and joining us anyway. And, for being here, guys, every single one of you guys who's part of this channel, part of this chat, who likes the stream, who shares the stream with your friends, who you guys watch the ads, help us out that way, donate through Patreon, every single way that you guys support the channel. Thank you so much for being part of our Cowboys.
We cannot wait to we were talking about the merch again. I hate calling it that, but we're thinking of doing shirts, guys, that are gonna be kind of cool. We'll tell you more about that in the future. It'll be something simple, kind of nice, but plain, navy shirt. Or gray or something like that, but like a navy with like my MCF on it, and maybe in the back it says my Cowboys family. I don't know. We'll see.
We start planning that a little more concretely. Right now, we are just trying to focus on, of course,
and don't worry,
providing great content for you guys.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people who are not fans want it too, like not Cowboy fans. They want it. So again, we'll probably make them without the star because I don't want any licensing issues. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of licensing, we're taking the star, the logo, and all that stuff. I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah, guys, like I said, we'll definitely get
all
really
of that
simple,
worked out guys. In more details. MCF right now sounds like the best thing because it's only for the people that know. And again, maybe in the back we'll have a little so we know, if people want to ask you about it, you can tell them where to go. But again, I think it'll be a cool looking shirt, pretty simple, pretty plain. That's all we want. That's it. We're simple and plain to the point. We're honest, non-biased as possible.
We're not very
Cowboys for life. Exactly.
So, but guys, again, thank you so much for watching, joining us. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Final shout out to every single one of you guys who's watching. Make sure to hit like on the stream if you haven't already. It does help out our channel quite a bit. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed and you haven't hit that notification bell, what are you doing with your life? So
that's when you're gonna get our updates tomorrow, guys. Right away. So yeah, the field goal kicker tomorrow, and who we're cutting. Look for that, the breaking stream by my fiance, birthday girl.
As we have it. So thank you so much for watching. And guys, as always,
never forget, win, lose, or draw. This time win. Next week, hopefully some more.
Yes.
What is it?
Go Cowboys!
Woo!
Thank you, guys. Have a nice night.
Peace out, guys. Good night.
Peace.
Yes, we love you. Thank you.
Boo Eagles, go Cowboys.
Thank you all, guys, for hanging in here. We'll see you tomorrow night. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.